Second-ranked Archbishop Shaw Eagles bring their high-octane offense into play here this afternoon against the upstart Rummel Raiders. And Henry Rando, the Shaw Eagles, if there's a better team in the state, maybe it's Ruston, but I don't know that there is a better team.
Well, Kenny, I just talked to Coach Tierney, and he said that this is the best team he's had since he's been at Shaw, and that's saying something. One of the things that really worries me as a coach would be how you're going to stop the Shaw Eagles. They have so many weapons, 3 great returning running backs, great receiver in Chasson, and a very good quarterback in Ike Wilson.
You mentioned the 3 backs. Obviously, Chester, the most electrifying. Bussey, maybe the best player, and Murray White's just a consistent player.
Well, that's it. They can hurt you in so many ways, Ken. What they can do is they have real good strength inside, excellent speed outside, and all those 3 guys can catch the ball.
Defensively, perhaps the bluest of all blue chippers in Pat Riley.
Well, 6'6", 245, big defensive end. Everybody and their grandma in the country wants this guy. Outstanding player. But so is Sean Jones, a big tackle inside, and he maybe doesn't get the press that he should, but he is certainly a major college prospect.
Tom Dempsey, on the other hand, it's a different-looking team where Rummel is concerned. They're very young, and obviously they haven't had a winning tradition established as of yet.
Well, they're a very young team to be expected. They've had up-and-down games. They played very well against St. Amant, a state-ranked team, losing by 1 point, then played down the next week, and they came back and played lawless. The defense is playing fairly well. Look for the 2 ends, Hummel and Jackson, and Mad Dog, Matt Doyle in the middle, playing linebackers, having a good senior year. And then at safety, Kevin Cash is playing well for him.
The Raiders don't have an abundance of speed, but one thing about them, they're very young, and the future is definitely ahead of them.
Well, I hope they're young and stupid and don't know who they're playing today. It would probably be the best thing going for them.
Well, Tom, we appreciate you being with us here this afternoon, and we expect to have a good one, despite the fact that we have one of the best teams in the state, if not the best team in the state, in the Shaw Eagles. Rummel and Shaw, the battle for the megaphone, coming up in just a moment, and we'll be back with the opening kickoff right after this.
Installing cables, not all we do. We're not just wire, we're neighbors too. Folks who care, folks who share. We're COX Cable. And when our work is done, our other jobs have just begun. There's much to do in our town too. With COX Cable.
Junior Achievement of Greater New Orleans filled over 11,000 public, private, and parochial school desks last year, with young people learning how business works. As a former school teacher, I appreciate the exciting partnership between education and the business leaders who volunteer their time to share their knowledge. These men and women teach about teamwork, leadership, and business. So Whitney and I believe in JA. That's why we're involved. How about you? Junior Achievement of Greater New Orleans, shaping education solutions with business and you.
Ken Trahan back at Joe Yenni Stadium for this afternoon's game between the Archbishop Rummel Raiders and the Archbishop Shaw Eagles. Captains have met at the center of the field. Archbishop Rummel has won the toss, and they have elected to receive. Shaw will kick off and defend the north end zone. Henry, we were talking about Shaw. They're 3-0 thus far this year, and basically they haven't been tested yet.
No, they haven't, Kenny, and I can remember when you get into a Rummel-Shaw matchup, anything can happen. In 1975, the roles of these 2 teams was reversed. Rummel was coming off of a district championship, picked to win everything, and went over on the West Bank and got beat 7-6 by a very average Shaw team. So anything can happen today.
Tom, if you will, as we see the Shaw Eagles, we'll take a look at the Rummel Raiders there. Now there are the Shaw Eagles coming onto the field. If you will, Tom, tell us about Kevin Carnegie, the Rummel quarterback, and how he's fared thus far this year.
Well, he's a junior quarterback. He's a very intelligent kid, doesn't possess the arm of Brad Burkell last year, doesn't make a lot of mental mistakes, runs the options fairly well. The lack of speed running the option has hurt us at certain times, but Kevin's not going to make any mental mistakes for us, and he's going to play very hard. He's an all-out player.
If Rummel's going to be successful here offensively this afternoon, Tom, they're going to have to run between the tackles. They are not a speed team, and basically they don't figure to get outside against this very quick Shaw team.
They're going to have to nitpick Shaw a lot today, use the tight end Sapp a lot today. I think the main factor is not to put the ball on the ground, no turnovers.
One of the most amazing stats when you look at things, Henry, is the fact that Shaw has 3 running backs that are averaging better than 9 yards per carry.
Well, that's what we said, Kenny. You know, with Murray White and Nuriel Chester, Kendall Bussey, 3 great players, and all of them played a lot last year in a team that went all the way to the quarterfinals to lose to Thibodeau in a quarterfinal game. They're back, outstanding quarterback, and their wide receivers, Terry Joseph and Jeff Chasson, are really speedsters, so Shaw will go long.
We're just about set for action. We should tell you that at the conclusion of this game, and that's easy for me to say, we will have a trophy presentation. It will be the Cox Cable AAA Trophies Player of the Game to be presented immediately following the game here this afternoon on the field. We appreciate AAA Trophies donating these fine trophies that you'll get to see a little bit later this afternoon. Shaw will kick it off. Jake Olivier handles those chores. And we're underway. The kick will be fielded at about the 20-yard line. And that is number 49, Mike Ryan. Ryan outside has room. 35-40. One man to beat. He's at midfield. He's out of bounds. Around midfield, actually at the Rummel 48-yard line, Ryan with a big return, and Rummel with great field position to start this football game. So Mike Ryan with the outstanding return, marked officially at the 48-yard line in Rummel territory, and that's where Rummel will start. 1st and 10 with Kevin Carrigy, number 10, the quarterback. The running backs are 6, Johnny Heinz, 23, Brad Tillman, and Jimmy Quito, 33. Raiders in the red jerseys, red hats, that's new, white pants here this afternoon. Shaw in white uniforms, green numerals, trimmed in silver. Full house backfield behind Carrigy on 1st down. The 2nd man, Quito, across midfield to about the Shaw 48-yard line to pick up a 4 yards for Jimmy Quito, number 33, only a sophomore at 5'7". And Tommy had a fine game last week against Lawless.
He's a very tough young sophomore running back. He's going to know the kid that'll give you 100% every time he's on the field. His best years are ahead of him.
Gain of 4 yards officially. It'll be 2nd down and 6 yards to go. Ball at the Shaw 48-yard line. Chris Cambarell is in at split end for Rummel, replacing Steven Dalferez. This is Heinz, and not much. Maybe to the 46. That's a couple, and driven straight back by the huge and quick Shaw defensive line led by Nick Walker, number 70.
Well, Kenny, all that running, and both times they've run the belly play both times, and it looks like they're just trying to test the Shaw 4-man line there.
Well, if the Raiders are going to be successful, they will run right behind Scafidi and Katzwar. They're experienced returning starters on that offensive line. It's 3rd and 4 here, a conversion down for the Raiders. And running room, but short of the 1st down by maybe a half a yard. To about the 43, Jimmy Quito. He's short by a yard officially, and it's 4th down and 1, and the Raiders will punt it.
Well, they should come out with pretty good field position here, Rummel. They got the good return by Mike Ryan, put the ball in midfield here. You know, we really got to feel like, well, it looks like Rummel short him, man.
Joe Burkell, first-year head coach, flanked by George Ryan, the longtime Raider head coach, now an assistant on the Rummel staff, right next to Joe. And Rummel calls timeout here. Is obviously hoping to draw Shaw off sides there, Tom. Didn't get the offside, so they wisely called timeout to avoid the penalty.
And I don't think they had the right people on the field at that time, and they didn't want to get a penalty. They could punch Shaw in just a little bit of trouble right now, and I think that's going to be a factor in this game. If we can keep Shaw on our own side of the field, we'll have a shot today.
Should mention that the officials for this afternoon's game, and an outstanding crew here this afternoon indeed, include the referee Roy Hoffman, the umpire Earl Spindell, the head linesman Walter Eckerd, the field judge L.J. Strohmeyer, the back judge Paul LaRosa, and the electric clock operator who is Alan Joseph. Excellent crew. And Henry, these guys do a fine job, don't they?
Yes, they do, Ken.
On 4th down and 1 yard to go. Punting situation here for Rummel once again, and Ronnie Bertuzzi will handle those chores. And Inurel Chester, number 24, deep to receive. And a year ago, it was a kick return by Chester that beat this Rummel team on the West Bank.
Exactly. Late in the ball game with Rummel leading 7-6.
Good protection. Bertuzzi hits it toward the sideline. Looks like a good kick. Chester fields at the 7. And he is brought down at the 8. Effective kick and good coverage by the Raiders. And it looked like number 45, Matt Doyle, the outstanding linebacker, making the stop there. And Shaw with some pesky field position to get things started here on their first offensive possession.
This will be interesting to see now whether or not Shaw is actually going to do the triple option early in the ball game, or whether or not Coach Tierney is going to go with a predetermined play. They run the veer, split back veer. They'll have receivers split on both sides of the field, and they're going with a spread, Kenny, right off the bat. They're opening it up.
Twin receivers to the left, Joseph and Chasson, another receiver right, and he is uncovered. Now the Raiders adjust in time, and Ike Wilson, the quarterback, gives to Kendall Bussey, and he's got nowhere to go. Bussey, the stud, and that's all you can call him, of a fullback, just a terrific player, stopped in his tracks by number 92, Sean Hummel, 230-pound defensive end.
John's a junior defensive end. He's been playing very solid ball all year. Very tough. Call him Pig's Hand or Neanderthals are his nickname. Tough kid.
All right, second down, 11 yards to go for Shaw. Their own 8-yard line officially. Again, the split back offense behind Ike Wilson. Wilson fighting off one tackle, and then he's going to be driven to the ground hard for little or no gain, maybe a yard. And that's all.
Well, the mesh that time between Chester and Wilson was not real clean. And so what happened there is Wilson was able to just to pull the ball out and kind of just maybe get what he could that time, but Rummel has been real tough on this first series.
Both runs have been inside thus far. A gain of 3 on the last play, and Wilson made that on his own. It'll be third down here. Wide left is Jeff Chasson. He's an outstanding receiver, their best. And Terry Joseph is wide right. Name should sound familiar. Counter play, Chester hit in the backfield and dropped. Penetration by the Raiders. Rummel very tough on this first defensive series, and it'll be a punting situation. It appeared to be Ryan O'Shaughnessy, number 98 for Rummel.
The outside left linebacker got some penetration, and then picked the left cornerback come up and made the stop.
Well, Rummel has given them now several different looks. They've gone from a 4-4 look to a 5-3 look, and it's obvious they got the offensive lineman of Shaw confused.
Telly Borg, number 71, will punt it away for Shaw, and he gets it off, but it's not a very good kick. End over end and out of bounds, and they'll spot it inside the 30. Let's see, maybe not. Looks like they're still walking. Looks like the 34-yard line. So officially a 23-yard kick, no return. And the Raiders will have terrific field position for the second time here in as many possessions.
Well, I think this is the key to a game. I think Coach Rando will agree with me. If the Raiders could keep Shaw on their side of the field, we have a chance today.
Absolutely. You know, this is the second time now they've come out with good field position. If they can hold that line of scrimmage, what I mean by is if they can keep the ball away from Shaw and Shaw has to play defense, they can't score.
That's right.
Full house backfield behind Kevin Carrigy on 1st and 10. Rummel from the Shaw 34-yard line. To the fullback and a couple. Brad Tillman, 23, 5'8", 160-pound senior, plowing down to about the 32.
I'm going to mention this now, and we're going to see how the game goes on it. There's two trends of thought when a team like Rummel comes in with the idea of an upset. Do you play very conservative, close to the vest, or do you take chances? So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, which way the Rummel staff goes. You know, are they going to play for the break and hope that they can stay in late in the ball game? Are they going to force, you know, like going for a 4th down where ordinarily you wouldn't go for a 4th down?
It was actually Danton on the last carry, and here's a big hole. 20 inside the 20 and down to the 17-yard line for the Raiders. Goes number 6, Johnny Heinz, running behind the left side of the offensive line, and the Raiders doing a good job of opening a hole as they ran right at Sean Jones, the outstanding right defensive tackle.
And you got to really credit Brad Tillman for an outstanding block there, the fullback. They're running a sprint option. That's a sprint option off the wishbone there, and the fullback actually makes the big block here. There's some of the young Raiders on the sideline cheering their teammates on here, and they got a chance to take it in early in this game.
And young they are. Raiders from the 17-yard line on 1st down, 10 yards to go. That's Heinz in motion. The give is to Quito, and he's nailed. Quito maybe to the 15, and big Nick Walker, 5'11", 250 pounds, a senior, returning starter and top college prospect, makes the stop.
And Nick's been around a long time, and, you know, both of their tackles, Sean Jones, 6'3", 245, and 5'11", 6', 250, Nick Walker, are really two experienced people. You can see why, Kenny and Tom, why Coach Kearney has said that this might be the best team. And, of course, everything's relative. You know, after the season, then he might be able to say this is his best team.
On second down, and we'll call it 8 yards to go. Straight ahead to about the 13-yard line goes Derek Danton, number 44. Nick Walker again for 70 at the bottom of the pile, along with Sean Jones. And Tom, as we surmised in the pregame, we look for Rummel to run between the tackles against this Shaw team, and that's exactly what they're doing thus far.
Well, Coach Ponoff told me they were going to try to play it very close to the breast today, not make mistakes. When you make mistakes against an excellent football team like Shaw, that'll beat you. But I would expect Coach Ponoff, after watching him for years, will have a trick or two in his bag.
Yeah, he likes that halfback pass. I know that.
Yes, he does.
On third down, we'll call it 6 yards to go from the 13-yard line. Big down here, and a flag is down, and the Raiders have taken too much time, I do believe. And that's a critical penalty against Rummel.
These are the kind of mistakes you got to avoid against a good football team. Your offsides, delay games, things that are drive killers.
Well, that really changes your whole thinking here, because they were playing a 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6, in which you look at, you have 2 downs to make 6 yards. Now you're looking at 2 downs to make 11. And so consequently, your whole thinking as play calling is completely altered.
Stephen Dalperez split wide to the right. Everyone else is tight. On third down and 11 yards to go. Counter play, Quito to about the 11, but well short of a first down. He picks up 5, maybe 6 yards as they run left. And it'll be 4th down and about 5 yards to go, and the Raiders will send their field goal unit in.
It's going to be young Jimmy Quito today doing the kicking. Our regular kicker is hurt. So it'll be the young, all-purpose Jimmy Quito to attempt this field goal.
Well, he had a 23-yard field goal last week against Lawless, as well as running for 2 touchdowns. He will have a severe angle here to the left side. It's on the left hash mark. The holder is Eric Roboto. Snap is there. The call is down. The kick is in the air, and it is no good and off to the right. He missed it off to the right. Had the distance, but missed it right. So a stoppage in play with 4:12 to play here in the first quarter. Our score, Archbishop Shaw nothing, Archbishop Rummel nothing, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Football fans, Cox Cable Jefferson has a sports talk show for you.
Hi, I'm Bob Krieger.
And I'm Rich Marty. Bob, what are we doing here anyway?
We're going to do a show called From the Terrace.
And what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about things football.
Well, it's live guests. We'll have live guests every week. We'll even talk about Tulane and LSU if you want us to.
And on first down, the pitch to Chester, running through a couple of tackles, and then he's brought down at about the 23-yard line. Good pursuit by the Raiders defensively. 21, Kevin Cash. 22, Todd Hemel were there, both from their cornerback positions to make the stop.
Also, someone put a very good lick on the quarterback, Ike Wilson, when he made the pitch. I think that's important. You can't let Ike Wilson get hot on you.
Isaac Wilson, 5'11", 170 pounds, a junior, and Henry, his father, was some football player.
Yes, he was, Kenny. He was an outstanding back at West Jefferson in 1973 season.
Yeah, you would remember him quite well.
Yeah, I do.
We'll expound on that in a moment.
Rather not.
About 7 yards to go. Wilson in the flat complete to Chasson. He slips and he's down short of a first down. At about the 27, maybe the 28-yard line, Kevin Cash on the coverage for Rummel.
Brady just a little bit loose that time. He was wide open. Slipped a little bit on the sidelines. There could have been a bigger game.
Pretty good idea to play Chasson loose, a 3-year starter. He's a top college prospect with good speed. He had a 60-yard touchdown catch against South Lafourche a week ago. Big play man. They have plenty of those. On third down and a short 3 from the 27. Wilson faking, keeping. Wilson has a first down to about the 31-yard line. Nice movement by Wilson there, as Rummel seemed to have it well defensed, but good bit of footwork by Wilson to get his first down.
Well, Kenny, that's the first time now we've seen the outside veer keep, and that's I think one of the toughest plays to defend against is the outside veer, because they put so much pressure on you on the corners.
Ronnie Bertucci, 48 on the last stop. First down, 10 yards to go. Shaw officially from the 31-yard line. Wilson pitches. Here's Chester. Or rather, Bussey running through 2 tackles and almost breaking it. Bussey across the 40 to about the 42. Appears to have a first down. And what a load he is once he gets squared to the line of scrimmage.
Can you imagine the defensive back eyes when he looks up and see that kid running at him?
Kendall Bussey is a 6'3", 225-pound senior. And like you said, Ken and Tom, he's a load. When he gets out there and he gets his motor running, shame on you.
The Shaw offensive line is not huge, but they're tough. Pitts at left tackle, 215. Potter at guard, 225. Age at the center and best lineman at 210. Monaco at 245. Gobert at 205 on the right side. On first down at 10. This is Chester. Football right into Wilson's hands. Wilson running forward. Wilson brought down for a loss. What a strange turn of events that was.
Unbelievable play. If you know, it just goes to show you when the ball bounces for you, it bounces for you. I mean, when the ball hits the ground, Rubble's got a chance anywhere.
It was a very hard play by Wilson to be following the play and watch what's going on, but there's a big hit by the Raiders, and they're playing very tough today.
Right.
Somebody got a helmet on the football. Wilson caught it in flight and then was stopped by Ryan O'Shaughnessy for a 4-yard loss. Second down and 14 yards to go. Receivers on either side for Shaw. Ike Wilson rolling. Flag is down. Wilson wants to run, using his protection. Wilson is up to about the 44-yard line. Again, a flag down on the play. Wilson near his own sideline. And he was brought down over there by Ryan O'Shaughnessy, who's playing a fine game. You got to like O'Shaughnessy's frame. He's 6'3", 195, and a junior. Very rangy, and the coaches tell me he has the room to put on a little bit more weight.
You know, he reminds me of Pat Stamp.
Yeah,
Pat Stamp
exactly.
played at Brother Martin. And, of course, he's an outstanding player right now, a senior inside linebacker at Tulane. And he has the same figure and everything else. There's number 4 there for Shaw. Coach Tierney is kind of upset with what's going on. He's talking to Jeff Chasson. Jeff did not make a cut as soon as he'd like to. It looked like Wilson was looking for him, and he was still running the route. So Coach Tierney had a few words with him on the sideline. They're playing second and long, so the Raiders have certainly had the better of this so far in the first quarter with a minute and 17 left to go.
Illegal procedure, the call against the Eagles, and it's second down and 19 yards to go. Here's the pitch to Bussey. He slipped. Todd Hemel was there waiting for him, but I'm sure he's very happy that Bussey slipped.
I'm sure the Raiders are moving very well to the ball right now. When you play a veer, you have to. But, Coach, don't you think it's unusual they're using their fullback as their pitch man?
Yeah, it is. You know, a lot of times they'll flip-flop those guys, but now they're not flip-flopping them. Usually the dive back is always the dive back, and the pitch back time is the pitch back. In this case, they're pitching that time to Bussey, and I thought that was unusual. We have not seen, to Chester. We have not seen that.
Loss of 1 on the play. It's third down and 20 yards to go. Shaw from their own 32-yard line. Wilson, straight drop. Under pressure. He's in trouble. He's going to go down. Well, they're going to call it incomplete. It looked to be in the grass, but very close, but needless to say, pass incomplete intended for Terry Joseph. And good pressure by the Raiders here.
Well, you're going to see it here. Both backs flare out to the flat. And he has nobody to throw to. He's getting a lot of pressure there by number 92, Sean Hummel. Hummel's putting a lot of pressure on him. Like you said, Kenny, it looks like they had him in the grass, but he was able to throw the ball.
All right, here's the punt by Ford. Tough one to handle. Fair catch and taken there at the 39-yard line, and then a hit. That's going to work against Shaw. Fair catch was taken by Brad Tillman, and Tillman was hit, and of course that's interference. You cannot do that. And this will work against Shaw and give Rummel outstanding field position once again.
I'll tell you, Kenny, I think that's the toughest job in football is fielding a punt. It takes a very special kind of person at any level to catch punts. But that was not a very good play on Shaw's part. The fair catch signal was given well in advance of the catch, and they should have avoided it.
Right. Sometimes on special teams, Tom, that's a young sophomore out there, number 55, Chris Durning. And sometimes they just get overzealous there, and they don't realize that they've got to give the guy a chance to catch the ball.
On first down, Jimmy Quito, and he is hit and driven straight back. Big time hit there by number 79, Colby McCullough, 6'3", 230-pound sophomore, the young one, so to speak, on that defensive line. As our first quarter comes to an end, that's the end of one quarter with our score. Shaw nothing and Rummel nothing, and we'll be back with the second quarter of action in just a moment. To begin, Rummel from their own 44, second down and 9, Ken Trahan, along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey from Joe Yenni Stadium. Shaw and Rummel, a battle of the Catholic League teams, Jefferson Parish. Rummel with a strong left formation here, single setback, first time we've seen this set, and it didn't work very well, did it?
No, it sure didn't. The Shaw just came piling through there, led by number 14.
Derek Danton, the ball carrier, and he was absolutely drilled by Nick Walker, 70, along with number 99, Charlie Camp, and also help on the play from number 16, and that is Bruce Wallace. Loss of 2 yards on the play for Danton, and it's third down and 11 for Rummel. Total yards in the first quarter, Rummel 35 and Shaw 17. Not a lot of offense here thus far. Motion is Hounce on third down. They run up the middle, and they're not going to get close. To the 45, and that's all, and Rummel will kick it away again. Nick Walker, 70, again on the stop of Jimmy Quito. Walker's just been in on a number of stops thus far. We haven't called Pat Riley's number yet, but we will.
Well, I don't know if Rummel wants you to. I mean, that's the thing, you know. Guys like that, you don't have to test people like that. You know he can play.
Shaw with a 10-man line here. Bertucci to punt. Chester is deep. And they're peeling back for the return, and they kick it right to him. He fumbles the ball, and he wisely falls on it. Boy, tough kick to handle. Chester wisely falls on top of it as the coverage was provided by Mike Ryan, 49 once again.
Little Mike Ryan, sophomore football player. What he lacks in size, he makes up in heart. Always around the ball, special teams, and you'll see him go into a game as a defensive back in special situations.
Rummel coming in 1 and 2. They lost to St. Amant 17-16. A good performance by the Raiders, just coming up short. Lost to a talented McDonough 35 team, then beat Lawless in an impressive performance last week, 30-0. Shaw first and 10, their own 22. Bussey looking for the cutback to the 25 and pick up a 3 tough yards. Just not a lot of running room there. 94 Billy Barrett on the stop.
Well, you see where Rummel is just given an 8-man front, and it's really tough to run the ball between the tackles. They got 5 on 3 inside there.
A look at the Raiders sideline. It looks like Cornelius Newbart, who's been injured for much of a year now, and he's a talented player that the Raiders would like to have out there. He's slow to recover from a knee injury. 8 of 3, second down and 7 for Shaw. Wilson wants to throw under pressure, complete to Chasson. Chasson is driven down by Kevin Cash, who is the best defensive back for Rummel. He's short of a first down.
Well, they're playing the kind of defense they've got to play. They've got to play a bend but don't break type defense.
Just a little down and out pattern that time by Jeff Chasson. And of course, he's put himself in position to make a first down. They're going to be playing 3rd and 2.
From the 31-yard line officially, 3rd and 2. Split backs behind Isaac Wilson. And a lot of movement. It appeared to be Shaw's left offensive line, the left side of the offensive line that moved initially. But we'll check the play.
Well, if it is, it's going to be in a 3rd and about 8. Let's see.
3rd and a long 7.
Yes, it is. You're right, Ken. That's 3rd and 7. And so consequently, Shaw, again, that changes their philosophy of what they want to do. And Shaw has not looked sharp the first 3 possessions here at all.
Eric Lovato, 15, is in for Rummel. Mike Ryan comes out on 3rd down and 7 yards to go on the 26-yard line. Receivers on either side for Wilson. He wants to run the option. There's the pitch. Chester looking for the cutback, and he does. First down and more. He might go all the way. Chester Chester in the clear. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. Chester is driven out of bounds at about the 16-yard line. Todd Hemel, the right cornerback, making a touchdown saving tackle, but there's Rummel.
So it's the first time they ran the lead option that time. The lead option, the back makes a nice play there. And you're gonna see Chester just make a great cut. You got a Kendall Bussey. Kendall Bussey makes an outstanding block, and of course he's off to the races. And Todd Hemel, you're gonna see, comes over right there, number 22, and he makes a touchdown saving tackle.
So the big play there for Inurel Chester, and maybe a big play there as well by Todd Hemel. We'll see. From the 17, this is Bussey. So the 14, a gain of 3.
Well, that's what Rummel doesn't want to have happen to itself, and that is to give the big play away. What they want to do is have Shaw drive 80, 90 yards for a score and force them to have 10, 12, 13 plays without making a mistake.
So they want to play that bend but don't break a little bit at a time. They feel that the heat could affect Shaw in the second half.
Hummel and O'Shaughnessy on the stop for Rummel. Gain of 3, 2nd and 7 from the Rummel 14. And the option. And Bussey has room. Cuts it back. Bussey to the 5. First and goal, Shaw.
Again, that's the lead option back to the left, in which they had the lead blocker, and of course that makes it real tough. What he should have done is stayed outside. He really had a lot of running room to the flag.
Did you see the great block by Chaston on that play?
Outstanding.
Chaston is a heck of a player. All right, timeout Rummel. We'll keep it right here with Shaw threatening at 8:23 to play in the first half. Fast-moving game, no score thus far. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey. Coming up at halftime, we'll talk with both coaches. Hank Tierney of the Eagles, Joe Burkell of the Raiders. We'll show the bands as well, so stay with us for that. Shaw 3-0 on the season. They beat Carver 44-29, beat Covington 51-14, and rather, this is last year's playoffs we're talking about. Lost to Thibodeau 41-40 in overtime in the quarterfinals. We'd like to remind you to catch this outstanding program from the Terrace with Bob Krieger and Rich Marty, the former Saint, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. You can see it here on Cox Cable Channel 26. Some interesting insight on football from a couple of nice guys, Bob Krieger and Rich Marty, from the Terrace, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. here on Cox Cable Channel 26. Shaw is 3-0 on the year. Their games thus far were victories over West Jeff 47-12, over Walker 35-7, and then last week over South Lafourche 38-16, a game in which they pulled their starters in the second quarter. So they really haven't been tested yet, and that'll tell you how well Rummel's played thus far here this afternoon. The Raider offense, however, has just not been able to get anything going with the great field position they've had.
Well, now we're losing that field position, and we're starting to play into the hands of Shaw just a little bit. So that was when that big fullback turned the corner, Coach Rando. He looked awful tough. Maybe that's why Hank's, down there and I'm up here.
From the 6-yard line, first down, goal to go. Eagles. The option. Wilson pitches, and there's running room, and there's a touchdown. Inurel Chester from 6 yards out, and the Eagles are on the board, 6-0 at the 8:17 mark.
And if you see this on the replay here, you got to watch the wideout. There's going to be the pitch, and the wideout number 4, Jeff Chasson, does a great job of controlling the defensive back at the line of scrimmage. You're going to see it right here. There he is in your picture, and you can credit him for giving that touchdown to the Eagles.
All right, the Eagles have had some trouble with extra points thus far this year. Jake Olivier is on. He was just 2 for 6 last week, and he's got this one, however. Well, Olivier converts nicely in a timeout on the field with 8:17 to play first half, and the second-ranked Shaw Eagles lead Rummel 7-0. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Installing cables, not all we do. We're not just wire, we're neighbors too. Folks who care, folks who share. We're COX Cable. And when our work is done, our other jobs have just begun. There's much to do, it's our town too. With COX Cable.
2:17 to play, second quarter. Shaw has struck first. They lead Rummel 7-0. Jake Olivier to kick it off for the Eagles. And he hits it toward the left side, and a pretty effective kick. Alvarez watches it, picks it up at the 8. He's in trouble, and he's down to the 10. Well, he waited too long to make up his mind whether to let it go out of bounds or field it, and by the time he did, he had nothing to do.
Had nothing to do, and then puts Rummel in the hole right now at the 10-yard line. That's not the kind of field position the coaches were hoping for.
In defense of Alvarez, it was a very tough kick to handle. Very effective. And with 8:12 to play in the first halftime, Rummel has tough going here.
Now they've dug themselves a little bit of a hole, but I got the feeling this might be time to come with one of their tricks.
Raiders not blessed with an abundance of speed. Shaw can do it to you in one play, as we saw. Rummel needs to grind it out, so to speak. And they'll try to do that here, and they're not going anywhere. Heinz breaks the tackle and does a good job of getting a couple of yards on his own. Pat Riley was there to stuff him initially.
Well, Riley just got a lot of penetration, and he knocked the offensive line back into the backfield, and you're going to see that, hopefully, if we have a replay. Riley was just outstanding on that one, man. He's so physical at 6'6", 255.
Second down, 7 yards to go for Rummel from the 12-yard line officially. Quick snap here, straight ahead, and maybe the 15, just short of the 15. Looked like Quito. No, it was Heinz.
Again, that's the sprint option. Just a sprint ball off a sprint option.
Bruce Wallace, the 5'10", 185-pound senior, on the stop as we look at the Shaw Eagle dance team. The green and white of Shaw. On third down and 5 yards to go here from the 14-yard line. Jimmy Quito is on the wing right. Carnegie fakes. Looks like a busted play. He's in trouble and down at the 9.
It did look like a busted play. Someone went the wrong way.
Well, I thought it looked like he was going to hand the ball off, and the back didn't take the ball. At least that's what it looked like to me.
Wayne Templin, 57, the senior strong outside linebacker, makes the stop. A loss of 3 on the play. And Bertuzzi will have to punt from his own end zone, and Chester standing in Rummel territory, and that's an ominous sign if you're a Raider fan. 10-man line for Shaw. Low snap and no rush. Pretty good kick by Bertuzzi. Drives Chester back. In fact, it's over his head. Now Chester will watch it bounce. Oh, that's an excellent kick by Bertuzzi.
I don't think he even saw the ball, Kenny.
May not have.
You know, it looked like the ball was going, and he realized where it was.
That's a 50-yard punt, no return.
It looked like the ball just kind of carried a little bit at the end. It was a nice spiral. And sometimes they tend to sail just a little bit.
52 yards officially. That'll do it. And you said, Henry, it didn't look like he saw it. And it's not only a day game, but we have a cloud cover, so to speak, which really creates a glare.
Right.
All right, Chester with 4 carries for 64 yards and a touchdown for Shaw thus far. He's been the man. First and 10 Eagles from their own 39. Wilson trying to get outside, cuts it back. He's got all kinds of running room. He may go the distance. He breaks the tackle. He will go the distance. They won't catch him tonight. 60 yards and a touchdown, Shaw.
He put a little high step on the end of that, too, also. Again, this is the lead option. You're not going to see him fake to anybody. It's just going to come on out. He makes a nice cut. Now, once he makes his cut right there, he gets into the secondary. He misses the, well, he breaks 1 or 2 tackles there. One was 21 Cash there. He had a chance at him, and then he breaks the tackle of Cash. And then he goes into the end zone. You can see him high step it there a little bit. Right there.
Yeah, a little French pastry on that one, and the extra point attempt is good by Olivier. With 5:57 to play here in the first half. Our score, the second-ranked Shaw Eagles 14 and the Rummel Raiders nothing. We'll be back with more in just a moment.
Football fans, COX Cable Jefferson has a sports talk show for you.
Hi, I'm Bob Krieger.
And I'm Rich Marty. Bob, what are we doing here anyway?
We're going to do a show called from the terrace.
And what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Saints football.
Well, it's live guests. We'll have live guests every week. We'll even talk about Tulane and LSU if you want us to. So call in and join us.
Please.
Hurry.
From the Terrace with Bob Krieger and Rich Maundy. Wednesday night at 6:30 on Cox Jefferson Channel 6. Cox Cable gives you the ability to be fully prepared in the event of severe weather with Weather Star. Accurate local weather information presented every 5 minutes. The Weather Channel's Weather Star. It gives you title information, advisories, up-to-the-minute...
5:57 to play first half. Eagles now lead at 14-0. Jake Olivier will kick it off here for Shaw. And he hits this one pretty good. Middle of the field and fielded at the 18-yard line. To the 25, running room, 35, 40. He may go the distance. Oh, he's caught from behind at the 46-yard line. A touchdown-saving tackle. And an outstanding return there by number 2, Blaine Donovan. And here it is again.
You're going to see, it actually was the kicker, Kenny. You're going to see right here that Donovan really hits a nice hole there, breaks the tackle, and the kicker, number 6, Jake Olivier, he's the guy that saves the touchdown.
I like to see that, Henry. Those kickers can steal tackles.
I sort of thought you'd say that. I don't know why. Let's look at one of the prettier sights here this afternoon. Rummel from the Shaw 46. Again, great field position. Carnegie running the option. Nothing there. To the 45. And that's the dilemma Rummel faces. Shaw has shut down the inside game after the early going, forcing Rummel to go outside, and the Raiders simply aren't blessed with speed to get outside.
They do not have a lot of speed. I still look for him to go to the tight end fairly soon. If Shaw keeps pursuing as hard as they are, the tight end could open up for a quick over the middle pattern pretty soon.
The tight end is their best receiver, Kevin Sapp. He's a big one at 6'3", 215. Gain of 2 yards on that play by Carnegie. 2nd down and 8 from the Shaw 44. Heinz is in motion. Play fake. Carnegie with all kinds of time. Throwing, intercepted. Intended for Dalperez, but sitting back there and waiting looked like Carlos Jones, who made the play, and indeed it was. The talented junior free safety.
Got a flag on the play, too.
And there is a flag on the play.
Well, you're going to see the replay here. Carnegie lost the ball out there. He doesn't have a lot on the ball. The ball kind of hangs on him. And, of course, there you see the interception there by Jones, huh?
However, there is a personal foul, I do believe, roughing the passer on the play, which negates the interception, and more importantly, gives Rummel 15 yards and a first down inside the Shaw 30-yard line. Well, that's a big play. Riley was the guy on the rush, so you would assume that would have been the call on him. If we have a chance to see that one again, we'd like to see it again if possible. This is Roy Hoffman signaling personal foul against Shaw. Roughing the passer gives Rummel new life to 29, and we'll see it again right here, Tom.
Here it comes up. Carnegie fakes. He's rolling out. Oh, they don't. It had to be after.
Had to be Riley, 41, yeah. The ball was clearly gone.
The ball was clearly gone. A mistake on Shaw's part there.
And it gives Rummel another great opportunity with 5:20 to play first half from the Shaw 30. First down, 10 yards to go. Carnegie fakes, he rolls, he has a man open in the flat, and he overthrows it. Well, they brought it across the field with Johnny Heinz. They got him isolated on a linebacker, Wayne Template, and that's a good matchup for Rummel. He's wide open, but the pass was overthrown.
Well, Kenny, they're in a double wing set here, and what they're doing is bringing it, and you see Heinz in the flat. And he's there. He had his man beat. The ball was just overthrown a little bit.
And in fact, he had time to turn upfield and possibly score on that one.
Well, there was a safety in back of him back there, but it would have been for a big gain.
Look at the Raiders sideline. 2nd down, 10 yards to go from the 30. One back, Danton behind the quarterback, Carnegie. Danton with the football, diving to the 27, maybe the 26. Actually, good blocking there, but Danton kind of lowered his head to the ground on a legitimate dive and wasn't able to keep his balance.
This is just a fullback dive. The line is trying to X-block or kind of rip block in there, and of course there really isn't much room inside. Shaw just kind of really shuts down from guard to tackle area real well. They do a good job on that. Gain of about 4 on the carry by Dempsey.
Gain of about 4 yards. It'll be 3rd down and 6 for Rummel from the Shaw 26 with 4:35 here in the first half. Twin receivers right. In fact, it's overloaded right, and that's where Carragher's rolling. Gets a block, throwing deep. It's overthrown into the end zone, incomplete. Double coverage as they tried to get it to Heinz, but just nothing there. Carlos Jones was back there defending. And it'll be 4th down and 6 for Rummel, and I would think they'll go for it here.
I would think they will. I don't think our field goal kicker can kick it this far. And we're down in their territory. I think it's a good chance right now.
And they will indeed go for it as the play comes in from the bench with number 72, Curtis Matthews, junior offensive lineman. 4th down, 6 yards to go for Rummel from the Shaw 26-yard line. So a big play for Rummel to try to stay in the game here early, trailing 14-0. Quito and Dalperez are wide left. And a flag. Rummel moved early. It'll be 4th down and about 12 now, 4th and 11. Left side of the Rummel offensive line, premature. It is a legal procedure, the right call here against Rummel. Well, you can see they're going to roll left. They had 3 receivers that way, just as on the previous play. They had 3 receivers to the right side.
Well, I think they'd like to roll away from Riley, too,
Sure.
to be honest with you. He creates so much havoc when he's in there. I think it's a good move to roll away from him.
Well, there's not a whole lot to choose from. You roll the other way, and you got Sean Jones, who's a blue-chip college prospect, number 88, and Colby McCullough, who's 6'3", 230. Well, you don't have a lot to choose from when you're talking about going either way with Shaw. All right, the same set left side here on 4th down. Quick snap, Carragher rolling, has plenty of time. Stopping, throwing, and it's almost intercepted.
Well, Torrey James was there, and really, Chad Boswell, the outside linebacker, actually knocked the ball away from him. So Shaw kind of gets the ball. You're going to see it here, Ken. Here we go.
Good protection.
Right. There's Carragher coming on out there. Lays the ball out there. You're going to see 14 get his hand on the ball.
And even if Bairnsfather wouldn't have, Carlos Jones would have. They were both there. So the ball goes over on downs to Shaw with 4 minutes to play in the half. And this is a big defensive series for Rummel if they're going to have a chance in this football game. Eagles from their own 30 on 1st down and 10 yards to go. And a big hit. Breaking through to make the play. Looked like Scott Wingirter, the senior weak side linebacker.
Looked like it was going to be a pass play. They're faking the fullback, and Wingirter had blitzed and got a hold Ike.
Look at some of the crowd. No, there's no rain here. They're trying to shield themselves from the heat, fans. Good crowd on an afternoon here at Joe Yenni Stadium. Kenny Trahan along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey. 2nd down, 13 yards to go. Wilson runs the option, and they've got room. This is Chester. A broken tackle. He's in the clear. He may go the distance. 1 man to beat. Hemel giving chase. Chester goes out of bounds. As much from fatigue as anything, and a flag is down.
It's going to be a personal foul for hitting the guy out of bounds. Yeah, you know, it was obvious that Chester was not making the attempt to stay in bounds. He was running to the sideline, and Hemel kind of pushed him there, and I think he's going to be knocked for 15 yards here. Let's see.
Chester went out of bounds as much from fatigue as from the pursuer, Hemel. I will see it again, Henry.
Again, it's lead option, gang, and they've really hurt Rummel here since the 2nd quarter. He does a nice job of just running over Kevin Cash, hitting him and bouncing off of him here. Cuts back against the grain.
And now it's 1st down from the 10-yard line for Shaw. Wilson on the option, breaks tackles. Wilson's going to score. Nifty footwork by Isaac Wilson, and Shaw leads it 20-0 at the 3:08 mark of the first half.
Again, Kenny, has been really more Rummel missing tackles.
Exactly, Tom. Just then it was. Obviously, he ran right through 3 or 4 guys.
Their other big gangs have all been missed tackles. Kevin Cash, probably the best tackler in our defensive backs, had a chance to make a tackle and didn't wrap him up.
Well, that's it. Archbishop Shaw. They have a lot to be proud of. What a great tradition. In the 80s, well, Shaw was dominant. Here's the extra point by Olivier, and that's through. Timeout on the field. 3:08 to play first half. Our score, the Shaw Eagles 21, the Rummel Raiders nothing. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hey, are your kids on a Jefferson Prep football team? Then watch them on COX Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. The best games in Jefferson each week, brought to you in color and with slow-mo. An instant replay. Join Kenny Trahan and Henry Rando each Sunday at 6 p.m. on COX Cable Jefferson Channel 6. What? You've got something to do on Sunday? Then tape the game yourself on Mondays at 4 and 9 p.m. and watch it when you can. COX Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Hey, we even had 4K on here once.
All right, on the kickoff, Dalperez with a fine return, reversing field, out to about the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. One thing you can say about Rummel here this afternoon, their special teams have been outstanding. They've had terrific returns, with one exception here thus far. And it's given them great field position, Tom. They just haven't been able to do anything with it.
And I have to say it was the Shaw kicker that made the tackle again. I'd like to give all the kickers that tackle some credit. No,
Jake Olivier.
So the Raiders are playing with heart. I think they just need to show up their tackling just a little bit, and they'll be back in the ball game.
Now the Eagle cheerleaders in their green and white. Nice to have them here on the East Bank on a Saturday afternoon. 2:58 to play in the first half. They give to the fullback, and there's running room there. A gain of about 8 to the 49-yard line. That's Brad Tillman off the right side, and Scafidi and Lund doing the job there with Ketzwar on the offensive line, opening the hole.
Well, it's just the first time that I've seen the Raiders this afternoon run the trap play, and they executed that very well and got about 8 yards.
Gain of 8 for Tillman. It's 2nd down and 2 from their own 48-yard line. Play comes in from the sideline. Chris Combarell, and Raiders are taking an awfully lot of time there to get the play in the game.
Yeah, it's a little slow now.
And Combarell is wide to the right. And first down yardage across midfield is Quito to about the 48-yard line. Shaw territory, and a very rare first down for Romo as Wayne Temple at 57, along with 99 Charlie Camp, who is a good college prospect, make the stop. Clock running down toward the 2-minute mark as we look at the Raiders replenishing their bodies here.
Well, it's hot, and that's one thing that you've got to worry about a young man at this kind of weather with the humidity in that, and that is that he dehydrates. You got to be very careful on a day like this.
Second straight afternoon game for Rummel, by the way. Oh, and a big pop here as the give was to Brad Tillman, and Tillman was nailed by number 16, Bruce Wallace, the strong inside linebacker. Wallace with a big hit, a pickup of about 2. It'll be 2nd and 8 with 1:35 and counting, and Rummel's going to have to get things moving a little quicker here.
Yeah, they're a little slow getting their plays in, and we're at 1:30 seconds right now. They need to try to get on the board this half.
And now a flag has been thrown against Shaw. They pointed at number 99, Charlie Camp, a dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Eagles. And now you have to wonder, it's not a real intelligent thing at this point in the game, and you know he had to say something.
I don't know what he'd be talking about right now. Shaw's really dominated the game.
And he's starting to come out of the game here. In fact, the coaches for Shaw, who do such a terrific job, are going to let him know that that's not the thing to do in this situation. That's a free 15 yards for Rummel and no time off the clock.
Yeah, Coach Hank Turney's a very excellent coach. He won't put up with any kind of talk or a personal foul. Especially in a position where it can hurt him and help your opponent.
Well, the officials will go explain to Coach Tierney and his staff exactly what the call was, and that's the right thing to do.
Well, I'm sure he wants to know what went on there because it was in between plays. It wasn't something that the kid did during the course of action. Obviously, he had to say something to one of the officials in that, and of course, the guy put the 15 yards on him. And I think what the coach is doing right now is good, is that is bring his team and calm them down, try to get, calmer things to prevail here.
Well, Tom alluded to how good a job Hank Tierney's done. He's in his 8th year. His record is 74-16. That's an amazing winning percentage, 74 out of 90.
His teams are always well coached, very well disciplined. They play tough. They're no patsies. They're going to come out and they're going to pass a lick on you. There's Coach Ryan trying to, get the defensive linemen fired up when they go back in. George is excitable.
He gets into it.
He gets into the game, and he's trying to work his kids up.
George is truly one of the nicest guys you'll meet in the coaching profession. He's universally liked by everyone. A nice person, and obviously he's a guy that you'd have to say is extremely loyal to Archbishop Rummel High School.
He's very loyal. With what happened to him last year, they come back and help his school. He believes in the Raider program, from top to bottom.
and Mrs. Ryan brought me an artichoke here for halftime. So,
and you
I
know
want
it's
to mention
good.
that. Absolutely.
Are you sharing?
Hey, absolutely not.
He's a wonderful guy, isn't he? It's Henry Rando, folks. Write to him. I'll give you his address in just a moment. On first down, Carnegie off the play fake, looking deep, and it's knocked away. They tried to get it to Sapp, and just an outstanding play by Torrey James, the cornerback. Sapp's a big target at 6'3", but James is unusually big for a cornerback at 6'2".
Well, you're going to see it's just a bootleg, and again, the ball just hangs a little bit too much. Sapp had him beat, but by the ball hanging, it actually gives James enough time to recover and come over the top.
Look at the Shaw fans. Carnegie came in 14 of 32, pretty good numbers on the year for 191 yards, but obviously doesn't possess a big arm.
And that'll come with experience.
Sure, he's only a junior, and it's his first year starting. The give is straight ahead. That'll take some time off the clock to the 30 for a yard or two, and the clock is running with 1:12 to count. And playing here in the first half, and Rummel's going to have to get it moving on third down. Raiders have at least 2 timeouts by my count remaining, and clock is down to a minute here, and they're going to have to start using them here.
Yeah, I don't think they want to leave, if they can't get in the end zone or get a field goal, I don't think they want to leave a lot of time on the clock for Shaw.
Took the words right out of my mouth. Wise thought process, I might add. They run the option, and there's nothing there. This will be a big loss. Jimmy Quito is hit for a loss. Coming up to make the stop was Bear's father, 190-pound senior returning starter from the weak side.
Well, you're going to see 2 men sitting outside there waiting for the pitch. There's number 14, Barnes' father, Chad. He's had a couple of brothers play at Shaw. That's a familiar name. He's had about 3 or 4 of them.
Brian Barron's father was most recent, of course. And when you talk about brothers, of course, we mentioned number 15 offensively, Terry Joseph. He's not a brother, but the first cousin of both Mickey and Vance, who, of course, have played at Shaw. So family ties, indeed, on the Shaw side of the field. And on the Rummel side of the field, you hear names like Doyle. You hear names like Ryan. And there's another kid, and I want to tell you a little bit about him. And his last name, I don't know exactly how to spell it. Something like Dempsey, though. I can't think of his...
Yes, I have a son down on the sidelines. A sophomore defensive end that gets in the games occasionally right now. He's coming along real well for a sophomore. And I would say that Coach Ryan's doing a great job of putting him in the game when he thinks time is right for him to play.
Well, he's number 83, Toby Dempsey. And Henry and I both find it interesting. We haven't seen him kicking at all.
He doesn't have the mentality to be a kicker or the flexibility. He has a defensive mentality.
Oh, come on now. What you saying?
All right, Eagles back on the field. It'll be 4th down and about 12 yards to go for Rummel. And they'll go for it, obviously, at the 34 with only 27 seconds remaining. Raiders have not had receivers open. There's been only one play I can recall that they had a receiver open, and that was a play across the field in a left flat. Two backs behind the quarterback, Carnegie, and motion here. Carnegie gives it straight ahead and nothing there, and the ball goes over on downs. Quito, the ball carrier, and Colby McCullough, 79 on the stop, along with 70 Nick Walker, and Shaw will get it on downs. And 23 seconds remaining at their own 33. That's a look at the scene here at Joe Yenni Stadium, 21-0. Reminder, coming up at halftime, we'll be talking with the respective coaches. Hank Tierney of Shaw, Joe Burkell of Rummel. You'll see the bands as well. We trust you'll join us for that.
I was kind of surprised that Rummel didn't try to put the ball in the air on that 4th down. Really, if they intercept it, they really gain because of the position of the ball. If they knock it down, they lose nothing. Shaw.
A little bit of deception, perhaps, but it didn't work in that situation. And they run their pitch to Chasson the other way. Chasson has some running room. Chasson outside has a first down, but a good tackle in the open field will stop him from going any further at about the 44-yard line. Is coming up to make the stop for Rummel was Ben Dude, the strong safety, who had a big game last week, the coaches tell me. All right, timeout taken by Shaw here with 13 seconds left. And we'll be back in just a moment. 13 seconds to play in the first half. 21-0 our score. The Rummel Raiders trailing the Archbishop Shaw Eagles. Shaw ranked number 2 in the state. We'll take a look at the statewide rankings later on in this game. let you see how things are going. Of course, Shaw is second in the state. And, well, they've averaged 10 wins per season under Hank Tierney. That's just an amazing figure. Shaw, by the way, next week goes out of district. Big game for them against John Ehret, a very talented football team and a West Bank rival as well. That should be a lot of fun. Rummel next week will play Holy Cross here in District 11 Quad A. So we look at the Shaw offense. Looking for one more big play. They have it 1st and 10 from the 44. Time for one, maybe two more plays, depending on the length of the next play here.
You got to look at Chasson. You also got to look at number 15 here, and that's Terry Joseph. Both of those guys can run.
And they're both wide to the right side here. Isaac Wilson, who's had a great game so far. Dropping, throwing deep middle for Chasson, and it is intercepted. This is Todd Hemel. The half will run out on this play, and Hemel is drilled, and a flag is down. Hemel to the 45-yard line. Flag is down on the play. Eric Roboto making the stop. And I believe they're going to pick up the flag.
Well, I'll tell you what happened. He really thought that was a block or a clip, and that was really the tackle. And he just waved the flag off, which is good.
Sure it is, yeah. And you can see why the tackle was made from behind, a driving attempt, which nailed Todd Hemel, and you're very happy, frankly, to see Hemel get up okay.
Yeah, that scares me because he never saw that come. That came really from a blind side, and that really scares you when a play like that.
Just saw the Shaw coaching staff running down from the press box here. Jay Roth, one of those coaches. Rummel fans would be familiar with him. Been an assistant at Shaw for the past couple of years and doing an outstanding job. On 1st down, one play left. Carnegie dropping, throwing, overthrown, and incomplete. Tried to get it to Sapp off of his hand, and it hits the turf as the half comes to a close here at Joe Yenni Stadium. And at halftime, our score, the Shaw Eagles 21, the Rummel Raiders nothing. We'll take a break here. We'll be back with our halftime show in just a moment.
Hi, I'm Bob Krieger.
And I'm Rich Marty. Bob, what are we doing here anyway?
We're going to do a show called From the Terrace.
And what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about Saints football.
Well, it's live guests. We'll have live guests every week. We'll even talk about Tulane and LSU if you want us to. So call in and join us.
Please.
Hurry.
From the Terrace with Bob Krieger and Rich Marty. Wednesday night at 6:30 on Cox Jefferson Channel 6.
Halftime at Joe Yenni Stadium. The Archbishop Shaw Eagles leading the Rummel Raiders 21-0. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey. It was a scoreless first quarter as Rummel had great field position but couldn't get anything done offensively. Defensively, however, they held Shaw to just 17 yards in the first quarter, and things looked good for Rummel. However, in the second quarter, the big play Shaw offense took hold as the Eagles began getting it done. Chester with a big run to set up the first score, which was a 6-yard run by Inurel Chester. The extra point was good. Olivier making that, and it was 7-0. Shaw came back. The big play from the quarterback, Isaac Wilson, going 60 yards. Olivier's extra point was good once again, and the score was 14-0. And then late in the second quarter, Wilson again, this time from 10 yards out. Once again, the extra point was good, and Shaw leads it here at halftime by the score of 21-0. Earlier this afternoon, we had a chance to talk with both coaches. Here's Henry Rando with Shaw coach Hank Tierney.
Up on the other side, and it's right in there.
I'm here with Coach Hank Tierney of the Shaw Eagles. Hank, at the beginning of the season, you've been picked to win this thing. Every newspaper and television broadcast has said everybody else is playing for second. How do you handle this with your kids?
Well, I tell you, Henry, we just try to play each game week to week. You know, we stress to our kids that it really doesn't matter how the other teams are playing or how they're improving or what the scores of their games are. It only matters how much we are improving ourselves. So if we're a better team week one than we were week one, then we're happy.
Let me ask you something. Now, you've had some good teams in the past. How do you rate your skill kids this year compared to years past?
I think we probably have the best talent on this team that we've had since I've been at Shaw. You know, I've said many times, best talent doesn't always win. I know the 87 team won the state championship, and we've had 3 teams on paper that were better than the 87 team that didn't get that far. But as far as talent goes, this team is probably as good as we've ever had.
Good. Coach, good luck today against the Rummel Raiders. We're going to have Ken Trahan with Coach Joe Burkell in just a minute.
Hey, are your kids on a Jefferson Prep football team? Then watch them on Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. The best games in Jefferson each week, brought to you in color and with slow-mo. An instant replay. Join Kenny Trahan and Henry Rando each Sunday at 6 p.m. on Cox Cable Jefferson Channel 6. What? You've got something to do on Sunday? Then tape the game yourself on Mondays at 4 and 9 p.m. and watch it when you can. Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Hey, we even had 4K on here once.
First-year head coach Joe Burkell of the Rummel Raiders. And, Joe, it's an interesting position to be in. First year you've been in a head coaching position, and I'm sure it's been a transition for you.
It's been an interesting year so far, Ken. You know, we've come a long way since we started back in August, and the kids have been playing hard, and it's a new role for me, and I think the kids are starting getting used to the way we're trying to do things, and so far it's so good.
One thing you're not blessed with is a wealth of experience. This is a young Raider football team.
Very young. We're playing a lot of young kids, and we're looking at the opportunity right now to get our young kids some experience, and then hopefully continue to build on what they've accomplished so far and look to the future. But you know, we can't look beyond today.
Rummel Raiders have been out of the playoffs for quite a few years, and a lot of Rummel fans would like to know how soon.
How soon? Well, that's a question that no one has the answer to right now. It really depends on how our kids play from week to week. You know, we want to make sure that we're competitive week in and week out. And then if we play hard week in and week out with intensity and dedication and determination, I think good things will start to happen for us.
Finally, the district this year. Shaw obviously is the class. After that, it looks like it could be pretty competitive.
Well, Shaw is head and shoulders above everyone else. The experience factor is definitely in their favor. Plus, the talent that they have is, you know, puts them number 2 in the state. So between them and St. Aug, who's been very good, I'd say it's a toss-up from there.
Well, Joe, best of luck to you in the second half this afternoon and throughout the rest of the season.
Thank you, Ken. Thank you very much.
Joe Burkell, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Cox Cable gives you the ability to be fully prepared in the event of severe weather with Weather Star. Accurate local weather information presented every 5 minutes. The Weather Channel's Weather Star. It gives you title information, advisories, up-to-the-minute color weather radar, and more. And the Weather Channel brings you tropical update at 12 before the hour every hour during the hurricane season. For a limited time, get a Weather Channel hurricane tracking chart at any Cox Cable service center. Weather Star, only on Cox Cable.
Halftime here at Joe Yenni Stadium. 21-0 Shaw on top of Rummel. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey. We saw the Shaw band along with their drill team and pom-pom squad earlier, and this is the Rummel Raider band, and the critically acclaimed and award-winning Chapelettes on the field right now performing at halftime, entertaining the crowd. And I'd like to say hello, my proud uncle here. I'm going to talk about my niece briefly. Darlene Guidry, do it good. She's enjoying herself out there. She's a Chapelette. How about that? Got that one in, right? Well, guys, we look at the first half, and Isaac Wilson, 6 carries, 70 yards, 2 touchdowns. Inurel Chester, 5 carries, 118 yards, and 1 touchdown. That about summarizes it right there. 18 carries, 223 yards for Shaw, 12 yards per carry average. That's about right. Rummel with 53 total yards. Carnegie is 0 for 5 passing with 1 interception. Henry, obviously, it's just what you expected. The big plays of Shaw getting it done.
Really what's happened here with the big plays is that Rummel's inability to stop the lead option. They've done a great job between the tackles. They've gotten in a 5-3 defense. They've forced Shaw to go wide. Shaw has gone wide, but really, like Tom said, a couple of missed tackles here and there, and this ball game could be nothing.
That's true, Coach Rando. Isaac is a load to tackle anyway. You got to give some credit to him too. He's an excellent ball player. We're in position to make tackles. The coaches had the right defenses called. We just didn't execute.
All right, Tom, if the Raiders are to be successful at all here in the second half, they're going to have some sort of passing game. They're 0 for 5 with an interception in the first half.
Well, maybe go to the short stuff. A little run and shoot might not hurt right now to put a little pressure. As you sprint out, you put more pressure on the defense than a straight drop back. Kevin Carnegie, as tough a competitor as he is, doesn't possess the great arm. But he's a very intelligent kid, and he can roll, sprint out, put some pressure on the defense that way.
21-0 Shaw on top of Rummel. We'll take the break here, and we'll be back with the start of our second half in just a moment.
On Cox Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. The best games in Jefferson each week, brought to you in color and with slow-mo. An instant replay. Join Kenny Trahan and Henry Rando each Sunday at 6 p.m. on COX Cable Jefferson Channel 6. What? You've got something to do on Sunday? Then tape the game yourself on Mondays at 4 and 9 p.m. and watch it when you can. COX Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Hey, we even had 4K on here once.
Set for the start of the second half, Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey, our guest analyst here this afternoon. Shaw ranked second in the state, showing you why as they lead Rummel 21-0. Having rolled up 223 yards on the ground in the first half and some additional yardage passing, as Isaac Wilson has been outstanding in the first half. Raiders will kick it off to start the second half. Jimmy Quito will handle those duties, and Jeff Chasson is deep to receive for the Shaw Eagles. He's flanked by Carlos Jones and Inurel Chester. Boy, that's choose your poison with those three guys back there.
Yeah, it's like not kicking at all. You'd want to say like kick a pooch kick straight up.
Quito hits a spiral that bounces and is fielded by Chasson at the 15. He has a hole. He's at the 30. He may go. He's to the 45. Boy, he almost broke it to the 47-yard line. Tackle made by number 48, Ronnie Bertucci. And Shaw will have outstanding field position at their own 47 to start play here in the second half. 21-0 our score. Ike Wilson will be the quarterback. Henry, we mentioned earlier you had a first-hand look at this young man's father back in 1973. You were coaching for the Rummel Raiders, in fact, and lost a very tough 7-0 game, I recall.
It really was, Kenny, and he put the only points on the board that night in a nice sweep from the wishbone.
The only ones that counted, I might add, as I recall. On a counter play, this is Bussey, and he stopped. Well, Kendall Bussey's the only guy that hasn't gotten it going thus far for Archbishop Shaw. Derek Jackson, 99, was there for Rummel. 94, Billy Barron as well. Ryan O'Shaughnessy also on the stop. You know, Rummel's big across the front defensively. Hummel at 6 foot 230, Woods at 5'9", 200. Barron at 6'4", 265, a sophomore.
Only a sophomore.
And Jackson at 6'2", 250. That's good size.
Yes, it is.
Again, the Raiders, if they lack any one element, it's speed on both sides of the ball. They have enough size. Loss of one on the play for Bussey. It's 2nd and 11. Wilson looking like he wants to change a play here. They run the option. He keeps. He's trapped. Back to the original line of scrimmage. Gain of 1. It'll be 3rd down at 10. And that's Ryan O'Shaughnessy again from linebacker. And he's definitely been the defensive standout for Rummel thus far this afternoon.
Read the option real well then, kept his eye on Isaac and made the tackle.
Again, we'd like to remind you that immediately following this game, we'll present our Cox Cable AAA Trophies Player of the Game. Courtesy of AAA Trophies on Florida Avenue in Kenner. We thank John Sullivan for trophies he'll be providing all year. Officially no gain on the last play. It's 3rd and 11. Wilson rolling. A lot of pressure. Stop. He wants to go deep. Man coverage, and it is almost intercepted. Good coverage by Kevin Cash on Chasson, and the pass falls incomplete.
That was a great play by Kevin Cash. I'm telling you, he played it like they played in the pros. What they did, they were in man-to-man, and he ran an out and up, and Cash did a great job. Looked up just when the ball was there, was in great position. Just really a professional play by number 21, Kevin Cash.
And a rare punt for Shaw. Telly Berg will handle those duties. Rummel with a rush, but he gets it off and hits it pretty good. Very high. No fair catch and a fumble. Big mistake. And looks like the Raiders will, fortuitously for them, come up with a football at about the 10-yard line. Well, you can see right off the bat that the man fielding the football, which appeared to be Ryan, was in trouble. Perhaps should have called for the fair catch. Brad Tillman did recover it for Rummel at the 10, so the Raiders will have possession, but again, in bad field position. They've had great field position most of the way. They just haven't gotten it going offensively against this fierce, I should say, Shaw defense. The heat's getting to me up here.
Well, you don't want to make a mistake down here now, because if you do, you don't want to go down 4 scores.
Up the middle for 2. It'll be 2nd and 8. Tillman, the ball carrier. And there's big Nick Walker on the stop once again for Shaw. Boy, he's tough. 5'11", 250, a top college prospect. Gets overlooked with the presence of Pat Riley and Sean Jones. But he's some player. Seems like he's been there forever. Been calling his name for a few years now. Tillman with 2. It's 2nd and 8 for Rummel on the 12.
Kenny Walker played some as a freshman in '87 when they won a state championship. He got some playing time.
That's why we've called his number a lot over the years. Again, this one a little bit slow to develop, and a couple of yards there to the 14, maybe. Squito.
Awful tough moving against the middle of that Shaw defense. They're, and it's awful tough to run outside. They plug the middle and they run to the ball so well. It's tough to really to do anything with them. I look for Rummel to start coming up with a few tricks.
You would think maybe, the thing that might work against these guys, if anything, would be misdirection, Henry. Some kind of influence one way and go the other. Use their pursuit against them.
Well, they've always been weak at that, Kenny. That's been one of really their Achilles' heel, is that they pursue so well, especially their inside backers.
Off tackle, trying to get outside and not getting there. It's Brad Tillman. Just too slow to develop against this outstanding defense in a punting situation here. Coming up to make the stop for Archbishop Shaw was number 7, Don Jackson, a junior defensive back, and Bertucci will punt it away for Rummel. Chester deep to receive with 8:35 to play in the third quarter. Ken Shaw with a 10-man line. This time they're coming, and he gets it blocked.
He got it blocked.
The ball does go forward, however, and Rummel was down at about the 30. Great pressure up the middle. Camp, 99, was there. 79. Colby McCullough was there as well. And the ball was partially blocked. Down to the 30-yard line by number 46, Davin Severa. Shaw will have it with a great opportunity to add to a 21-0 lead.
Well, now we're going to see what the defense is made out of here, because again, they've gotten a little adversity and they got to rise to the occasion.
Split backs behind Isaac Wilson, receivers on either side. They run the option, he breaks a tackle, and there he goes. Isaac Wilson to the 10, and down at about the 9. He fumbles, but out of bounds. At about the 8-yard line, and a first and goal. 22-yard scamper by Ike Wilson. Well, you seemingly have him contained, but he just uses nifty footwork and runs through a tackle and makes a big play.
Well, you're going to see it here, Kenny. It's just, again, it's the lead option, and he cuts it really inside the tackle. The offensive tackle cuts back against the grain, and the only guy that has a chance at him is Kevin Cash. And again, Cash makes a touchdown-saving tackle. You got to really credit Cash. He's had a lot of tackles.
So it's first and goal officially from the 9 for Shaw. Option again. Here's Bussey, and look out. Bussey is going to be dropped at about the 7, maybe the 6. Bussey not as fast as Inurel Chester, and he takes him a little bit longer to turn the corner, and that's what enabled Rummel to make the play.
He did, once he turns north-south, he's a very tough runner, but running east and west, you have a shot to tackle him.
Like Todd Hemel, 22, to come up and make the stop for Rummel. And both those Rummel cornerbacks, Cash and Hemel, are very busy men this afternoon. Second and goal from the 6, gain of 3 officially on the last play. For 31, Jay Tucker in the backfield for Shaw now, along with Bussey. And we haven't seen Murray White here, to my recollection, this afternoon. Straight ahead touchdown, Tucker, untouched. And it's 27-0 Eagles as Jay Tucker scores from 6 yards out.
Well, Tucker's one of the guys of the future. He's just a sophomore running back. So you'll see Jay Tucker for the next 2 years. All it was an outside veer give to the left side of the line, and he went into the end zone untouched. The score goes 27-0.
6 yards on the touchdown carry by Tucker.
6-yard touchdown by Tucker. The extra point attempt by Olivier forthcoming. And Olivier has been perfect this afternoon. Timeout on the field with 7 minutes to play in the third quarter. The Shaw Eagles 28, the Rummel Raiders nothing. We'll be back in just a moment. All right, here's the kickoff by Olivier, fielded by Dalfarez to the 25, 30. Dalfarez in the clear across midfield. And down to the 45-yard line. Dalfarez with the return. And the Archbishop Rummel Raiders, again with a great kickoff return. Boy, that's been their best play all day. They have returned kicks just brilliantly.
Of course, you don't want to be in that position returning kicks all evening long, though. That's only foul.
They've had a little bit of practice at it today.
on the 47-yard line. First down for the Rummel Raiders, and Carnegie, the quarterback, with the split backs behind him with 6:50 to play. And the pitch here, and tripped up. The running back, Guido, looked like he had running room, but just tripped up, was unable to get it going, and we'll see it again, Tom.
Here comes out in the option, gets it to Guido.
Again, it's just, you know, a little option, a little toss there.
So a loss of a yard or two on the play. It'll be second down and about 11 yards to go from the 48-yard line for Archbishop Rummel. And a fumbled snap by Carnegie, and it's loose. Who's got it? I think Shaw got it. And they do. Nick Walker with the recovery of the fumble by Carnegie, and the turnover gives Shaw the football at their own 46. And this may be the death knell for Rummel, Henry.
Yeah, you're going to see it right here. And you just can't have turnovers against a real good football team. And of course, this is what happens. You know, Shaw is so dominant, and to go through an entire game without giving them anything is really hard, especially on a high school level. You're dealing with 15, 16-year-old kids. Rummel is basically, like we said, in key positions, they're a young team. You know, they have some very good seniors, but in very key positions, they have, you know, sophomores and juniors who have not played before.
From the 46-yard line, Isaac Wilson setting him down. He's gone all the way thus far, and he had a groin injury coming in. We wondered about him, but he's answered those questions, and here he goes again. And there he goes again. 45 and down about the 41-yard line. Cash has to make the stop for Rummel once again. And with number 30, Dendu.
Right, and really nice blocking by number 91, Preston Washington. You're going to see him release out and get downfield here. Also, right there, number 4, we've mentioned Jeff Chasson. Not only is he a fine receiver, but I'm going to tell you right now, he's worth his weight in gold as a blocker.
Boy, he's a good blocker. I was going to say that. And this young man's a great runner. Wilson, he's now over 100 yards on the day. Isaac Wilson. Doing his father proud here this afternoon.
He should.
5:30 to play in the third quarter. And they'll run the option again. Here's Bussey, and Bussey's stopped. Bussey just doesn't have the speed to get outside. That's what it boils down to. Once he gets it going, he's brutal, but hasn't been able to turn the corner. Matt Doyle, best linebacker on this team, and the son of the athletic director, Ronnie Doyle, makes the tackle for Rummel.
Matt's probably been one of the most consistent defensive players for the Raiders this year. He works hard, studies hard, works hard at practice, is always in the right place to make the play.
Well, it feels like a reunion up here this afternoon. Easton Roth, the former Rummel head coach who had enjoyed such wonderful success with the Raiders, visiting here this afternoon. His son Jay, an assistant at Shaw now. Here's the pitch to Bussey. Look out, he got it turned there. See you later. Kendall Bussey, 40 yards, touchdown, and Shaw leads it 34-0. Well, we talked about not having the speed to get it outside, but as Tom mentioned, once he gets turned upfield, it's over with.
Well, you're going to see it's just an inside fair pitch, and 34 Bussey. He shows good speed, like Tom had mentioned. Once he really gets north-south, and he outruns the whole Rummel secondary there, and he puts on the 34th point of this ball game.
Oh, they're happy, and they should be happy. Those fans have a lot to cheer for. This Archbishop Shaw team is some talented on both sides of the football. Olivier to try the extra point once again. Out of the hold of Joseph. And Olivier has it through. Timeout on the field. 4:42 to play, third quarter with our score. Archbishop Shaw 35, Archbishop Rummel nothing. We'll take a break here and we'll be back with more in just a moment.
Installing cables, not all we do. We're not just wire, we're neighbors too. Folks who care, folks who share. With COX Cable, when our work is done, our other jobs have just begun. There's much to do in our town too. With COX Cable.
4:42 2:32 to play third quarter. It's now 35-0 Shaw on top of Rummel. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey. And it's been big play after big play for Archbishop Shaw after being shut down in the first quarter, and they've simply worn Rummel down here. Rummel offense has not been able to keep their defense off the field. Well, here's the kickoff, which Rummel's been great at, but one of the upbacks took it away from Dalferez, and he'll still get it across the 30 to about the 34 off of the big hit. That's Donovan, who had a good return earlier. Blaine Donovan. And it'll be first down for the Rummel Raiders at their own 34-yard line officially with 4:34 to play in the third quarter. Carnegie comes back out, and maybe the story of the game is the fact that the Raiders have yet to complete a pass in this football game.
No, that's amazing. Kevin usually hits the short passes fairly well. It's time for some misdirections now. Sprint out and pass, try to put a little pressure on this Shaw defense.
Fumbled by Carnegie, and the Eagles have it. Cannot be returned here. And Pat Riley came up with it. That fumble was behind the line of scrimmage. And Henry, you can explain it.
Should I? This is one of the...
should.
Okay.
Let's watch it first and then tell us.
Okay, you're going to see right now the fumble is being made right there. The fumble is being made behind the line of scrimmage. And the college rule, which Louisiana high school teams play by, is that if the ball is behind the line of scrimmage, you can't advance it. If the ball was in front of the line of scrimmage or past the line of scrimmage, then Riley could have picked it up and ran with it and scored. So I guess you could say it was a break for Shaw, but also a break for Rummel, because it definitely would have been 6 points.
No question about it. That's the rule. It was behind the line of scrimmage, and the officials on the spot saw where the ball was fumbled and made the correct call there, as they usually do. And we got an excellent crew here this afternoon from the 34-yard line. And Carlos Jones is in at quarterback, so they have made a switch now. He played a lot last year, and he's very talented. And no gain on the play as Shaw has made some changes. The ball carrier there was number 11, and that's Brian Danigol, a junior running back. Loss of one, in fact, for Danigol. It'll be second down and 11 yards to go with 4:05 to play. And Hank Tierney with a 35-0 lead. We'll take a look at some players now. Of course, Carlos Jones is like a starter. He played a lot last year when Joseph was hurt. He runs the option, pitches, Bussey fumbles. Who wants it? Rummel. Kevin Cash, 21, comes up to make the recovery, and the Raiders take over. It didn't look like a bad pitch, and we'll see if it was.
No, it's not. Right here, Jones just comes out and hits him in the hands. What happens here is that Bussey just kind of took his eyes off the ball, and consequently the ball hit him in the hands and he bounced him. And of course, number 21, Cash, comes up there and makes the play.
So that, to my recollection, that's the second turnover. They threw an interception right before the half for Shaw, but that was meaningless. So Bussey's fumble gives Rummel the football right back, and Carnegie sets him down with 3:50 to play here in the third quarter. Got a little cloud cover now. It's cooled off a couple of degrees, thankfully. Straight ahead, and some running room there as they actually opened up a crease for Derek Danton. Number 69, Jamal Musa, senior defensive lineman, in on the stop.
Just a little belly play there, Kenny. It's all it is to Danton. And again, Rummel is trying to reestablish the line of scrimmage. Hopefully they can get something going here with 3:25 remaining in the third quarter, trailing 35-0.
Give credit to Nick Walker as well. He's just played a great game. Second down and 5. Straight ahead and fighting hard to about the 45 is Danton for a gain of 3. Danton had to work extra hard for that. And yes, Nick Walker, number 70, on the stop once again. This guy has to be in double figures in tackles here this afternoon.
Played a very strong game defensively for the Eagles.
He's working up against Rummel's two best offensive linemen over there on the right side for Rummel, Scafidi and Katzwar, who are both big and both solid players.
Both starters last year, Ken, both guys.
Lining up against Scafidi most of the day. On third down, and it looks like a first down for Rummel. Danton off the left side to about the 49, tripped up.
I believe that's the Raiders' first down of the second half.
I think so, yeah. Colby McCullough on the stop. Maybe only like the third of the game. Maybe 4. They had one on a personal foul penalty. So the Raiders at their own 49 play at first down with 2:32 to play in the third quarter, trailing 35-0. In all honesty, of course, we all expected Shaw to win this football game. It was a question of whether Rummel could play, quote-unquote, the perfect game and make a real game of it, and naturally they have not. That's why the score is what it is. Little collision in the backfield, but Danton runs through tackles and really fighting hard. Derek Danton into Shaw territory to about the 46, a gain of 5. Derek Danton has run effectively here. Second half, he's only a junior.
And again, it's just a little belly play inside to the fullback. Missed tackle there by Riley, number 41. And then able to pick up the first down.
Yep. Enjoy the fans, and the fans are enjoying this one. On second down, here's Danton again with a hole. He's close to a first down, to about the 41-yard line.
I believe he's got the first down by a couple inches.
As Wayne Template comes in to make the stop, along with Colby McCullough or Shaw, and a first down Rummel. So back-to-back first downs here as they move the chains and run the clock. And that was what they wanted to do coming in here this afternoon. So a first down for Rummel at the Eagle 41-yard line with a minute 17 and counting in the third quarter. Alvarez wide right. In the slot is Quito. Split backs behind Carnegie. Again, a collision in the backfield, and Raiders are having some trouble executing handoffs here. It hasn't been a pretty sight. As Danton, the ball carrier, brought down by McCullough once again. Riley also there. I used to have one of those shirts, I think.
It used to have spaghetti gravy on it.
Yeah, something like that, yeah. Of course, I also had a Shaw shirt. I also had a Jesuit shirt. I used to collect those things. I did.
Those are hard to come by today. I mean, really, to get a whole set.
Second and 10. Fumble snap. Third time. This time, Carnegie falls on it. And Kevin Carnegie, who's a junior, is going to get better and better. He's had a tough day here today, and you have to think the opposition's affected him just a bit.
I think so. Just to look at the Shaw defense is an awesome sight for a high school. They're all big, strong, and fast, and they're intimidating.
Kevin, by the way, speaking of family ties, is the son of former Rummel assistant Tom Carnegie, a very nice man. Clock winding down. Third quarter will come to a close before the next play can be run. And at the end of 3 quarters of play here at Joe Yenni Stadium, our score, the Shaw Eagles 35, the Rummel Raiders nothing. We'll be back with our fourth and final quarter of action right after this.
Hey, are your kids on a Jefferson Prep football team? Then watch them on COX Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. The best games in Jefferson each week, brought to you in color and with slow-mo. An instant replay. Join Kenny Trahan and Henry Rando each Sunday at 6 p.m. on COX Cable Jefferson Channel 6. What? You've got something to do on Sunday? Then tape the game yourself on Mondays at 4 and 9 p.m. and watch it when you can. COX Cable Prep Football Game of the Week. Hey, we even had 4K on here once.
Small businesses.
Speaking of Shaw graduates, John Forcade, right? He was as good a high school quarterback as I ever saw. I'd put him right up there with Mike Miley, I'll tell you that.
Yes, he was. Pretty tough.
3rd and 13 for Rummel from the Shaw 44. Not the position you want to be in. To the 40, maybe the 39 is Rick Collada, number 11, who had a 17-yard touchdown against Lawless last week, and Rummel will punt. And I think some of the Raider fans would like to see him go for it here, feeling they have nothing to lose, but you can understand they're punting the football. It's going to be hard to get 9 yards against this team.
It's very tough against Shaw's first defense to get 9.
Chester deep for the Eagles.
Bertucci will punt it. Chester is deep. End over end. Will it stop? Yeah, out of bounds at the 3. Great kick by Bertucci. As I mentioned, the Rummel kicking game has, for the most part, been very good. They did have one punt blocked partially earlier, but the returns have been good, and Bertucci, when he's had time to kick, has done a real good job. It's a big part of a team, special teams, and they continue to perform like this. They're going to win some close football games with those special teams. So we look at the Raider cheerleaders. All right, how many of those are going to be on the homecoming court, right? It's a big question this time of year, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And, of course, all the seniors will be intimidating all the freshmen.
Well, of course. I remember that well. Well, it hasn't been very close on the scoreboard, Henry, and it hasn't been close in total yards.
No, Kenny, Shaw has 317 yards compared to Rummel's 73 here in the third quarter. Going to the fourth quarter now.
Carlos Jones rolling from his own end zone. That's dangerous, but he gets it out across the 5 to about the 8-yard line and takes a pretty good pop in the process from 92, Sean Hummel, and 45, Matthew Doyle.
Now, those two, have been steady all year. Here he comes outside. There's Matt Doyle getting hit in position and making the tackle.
And there they are, the Chapelettes, yeah. How many of them did I date when I was in high school?
I don't know. How many?
I don't know. I lost count.
Uh-oh.
It's a while ago. What, last year maybe? On second down. Running through a tackle into the secondary and out to the 20. Excellent run by number 27 for the Eagles, and that is Chad Keller. Keller, a sophomore running back, and they come at you in waves. First down, Shaw out to the 20-yard line. It's actually number 22, Alton Darby.
And he's another one of those young running backs. He's just a sophomore, Darby.
Alton Darby. Well, the Eagles have depth to go along with their great skill, and that's going to tell down the line against top-notch competition. Rest assured. Jones now looking out and yelling instructions to his two wideouts, and they took too much time. Probably a good thing for Shaw. They would have lost yardage on the play.
You can see he was trying to do some type of audible on the line of scrimmage to the wide receivers. So we have 10 minutes and 1 second remaining here in the fourth quarter. Still 35-0.
So it'll be second down and 15 yards on the penalty. On a delay of game penalty, and they'll start from their 15 now with 9:51 and counting. Split backs again behind Carlos Jones. Play fake. Wants to throw. Going deep. That's going to be overthrown for Chasson. Cash had single coverage and a good job of bump and run coverage.
Cash is lined up against number 4 Chasson all day long. They're putting a lot of pressure on the junior defensive back. That's an awful load to cover.
Cash is a good player. You know, he's missed a couple of tackles here this afternoon, but he's also made quite a few, and we've seen him with good coverage. He's good size at 5'11" for a cornerback. And by and large, he's done a good job against Chasson, who has caught a couple, but both underneath for short yardage. So it's 3rd and 15 from the 15 for Shaw. And a timeout. Jones didn't like what he saw, wasn't sure, and did the prudent thing and called timeout, and we'll take timeout as well. With 9:39 to play, our score, Shaw 35, Rummel nothing. We'll be back in just a moment.
Installing cables, not all we do. We're not just wire, we're neighbors too. Folks who care, folks who share. We're COX Cable. And when our work is done, our other jobs have just begun. There's much to do in our town too. With COX Cable.
Junior Chief.
9:39 to play. That's our score. Shaw 35, Rummel nothing. Ken Trahan along with Henry Rando and Tom Dempsey here this afternoon. And it looks like the megaphone will stay in the hands of the guys on the West Bank in green and silver for the 5th consecutive year. That's a tradition in Shaw Rummel history, as the two parochial schools in Jefferson Parish battle for a megaphone that's painted 4 colors, respected 2 colors of each team, and it's been quite a tradition over the years. Jones on the option. Jones breaks containment. This could be a touchdown. He's down the sideline. He's at the 40. He's going to go all the way. Carlos Jones goes 85 yards, and Archbishop Shaw now leads Rummel 41-0.
What you're going to see here, you're going to see number 9, Jones. he gets the ball there and on the sideline, he's really going to go. And he just runs 85 yards. Outstanding job there by Jones. But again, the lead option has been the Achilles heel of the Rummel Raider defense. They've done a great job, except for that.
Yeah, they've been unable to stop it. No question about it. Here's a high snap. Joseph will run, trying to get outside. 10, 5, and down. Pursuit there and tackled by number 15, Eric Robato. So the point attempt fails for the first time this afternoon. And with 9:24 to play in the ball game, our score, the Shaw Eagles 41, the Rummel Raiders nothing. We'll keep it right here. Well, the story here this afternoon, guys, speed, speed, and more speed.
Well, that's it. If you take away, I believe this, if this, I think I'm right. Correct me, fellas, if I'm wrong on this. I think if you take away any run over 30 yards, the score's nothing.
I really think so. Like you said, Rummel's had a lot of trouble stopping the lead option. There's no substitute for speed in football. That's what all the colleges are looking for. When they look at a kid, the first thing they ask you is not his size, is how fast can he run.
And the thing about this Shaw team, much like John Curtis and AAA, they have size to go along with the speed. That's a heck of a combination. And if you want to go one step further, they have excellent coaching.
That's true.
And I'll say this about them, too. They're a class outfit. Jake Olivier to kick it off for Shaw. End over end. Fielded, 21-yard line. 30. And another good return to the 39. Shaw's going to have to spruce up their kickoff coverage if they're going to be successful in the playoffs. I tell you, they've had some trouble here this afternoon. Rummel's had some gaping holes to run through.
Well, they have to get their kicks. They're going to have to get a little bit deeper.
Yeah, that helps.
They're getting down to the 25 and 30-yard line. Automatically, you're in good field position, even if you fair caught the kickoff, which you can. It just doesn't give the coverage team enough time to run down the field.
That would worry me as a coach, because against good teams and against teams that, are going to play you tough, that's going to be tough. You don't want to give the ball to the 40-yard line every time you come out there and play field position.
All right, a lot of new faces out there now, and Collada carries for Rummel for good yardage. We'll see it again here.
Well, that's number 11, and that's Ricky Collada. He's just a freshman. And, of course, his daddy wasn't a bad football player.
No, he wasn't. Oh, Ray Collada?
That's right.
Clarence Heigl, number 20 in the game for Shaw on the stop. It'll be second down, 4 yards to go following a 6-yard gain. Collada again, good hole, but he took it outside instead of staying inside and might have cost himself some yardage. He is close to a first down, however. But still, it's very unusual for a freshman to be out there. Boy, what invaluable experience. Last week, as I mentioned, he had a 17-yard touchdown against Lawless.
Right, you're going to see it here. It's just a belly, and he just makes a move, and he tries to dip it by the outside. But really what he should have done, as you can see, he had a little running room inside. I tell you what, I would love to get a camera. I would like to get a camera tight enough for him to see his eyes right now.
For one thing, he doesn't have to look at Riley. I think he's sitting on the bench right now.
This is true. This is true. And the measurement comes up just short. It'll be third down and that much, less than a yard. Some of the guys in there for Shaw right now. Let's give some of these new guys some credit here. For the Eagles, 13. Casey Phillips is out there, 96. Ray Foray is out there. 53 is out there for Shaw. Johnny Gegenheimer, that's a familiar name. Gegenheimer. Yeah, that's right. Also for Shaw, 69. Jamal Musa is on the field. We mentioned number 20, Clarence Heigl. He's out there.
96.
Along with number 40. That's
a new
Jason
guy.
Creeth, 96. Ray Foray we mentioned. I just did a couple of moments ago.
You did.
Third down and less than a yard to go. Full house here for Rummel. Straight ahead and a first down. This is Tillman across midfield to about the 48-yard line. So the Raiders move the sticks with 8:12 to play. And for Rummel, what they'd like to do here, obviously, is get on the scoreboard.
Again, it's just a wedge with the fullback, 23, Tillman, and he picks up the first down for the Raiders.
8 minutes and counting. First down, Rummel. Quito with running room. Fumble! And the Eagles have it. And at about the 29-yard line, coming up with a football for Shaw is number 46, Jason Brown. So Quito with a good gainer took the hit, fumbled, and the Eagles come up with it.
You're going to say it was a good stick there. It really was, and the ball was just jawed loose.
Speaking of fresh faces in the game, we saw one for Rummel on that last play. Number 83, Toby Dempsey, was out there.
He's going in to play some defense now.
Right now. So we'll take a close look here at number 83, Toby Dempsey.
First, I got to say one thing about Coach Trahan. He saw the Raiders put in a bunch of new defensive people, and he switched some offensive people real quick.
And he switched quarterbacks here again. This is Chuck Parquet at quarterback. Parquet or Parquet, if you will. I know. And nothing here. As they give it off to number 11, Brian Denigol. Now we're taking a look at Toby Dempsey there, trying to get a close-up of him. He's hiding. Wait. We'll see. It's on the far side of that defensive huddle. We'll try to catch him breaking the huddle here. We'll stay with this shot for just a moment. All right, we'll see the replay.
Just a little straight dive there. So that was Brian Denigol.
Sean Hummel on the stop, 92. Gain of 1, 2nd and 9. Parquet. Hit, fumble, and I think the Raiders have it. And they do. He was actually trying to pitch the football. That's the Chapelette. The Raiders have it. He's trying to pitch the football going down, and that's a no-no. We'll see it again. Watch as he's being dragged down.
Again, Parquet is with the lead option, and he's going down really. You know, he just pitches the ball out there.
Well, it's kind of tough with your son, but that was my son, number 83, Toby Dempsey, causing the fumble there.
He sure did. He made the hit. Way to go,
proud
Toby.
pop up here in the booth.
How about that? And that makes you think. Of course, that makes you think. Where has he been the whole game, right? Should have been out there, right, Coach?
So, I've played football, so I know they're using him right. The coaches are bringing him along just fine.
Yeah, we're just kidding, of course. All right, the dive play for Danton across the 25 to the 24. That's a pickup of 5, and a chance for Rummel here. 6:55 to play to break the shutout. Making the stop for Shaw was number 45, and that is Stephen Carter. 2nd down at 5. Carnegie still in the game at quarterback. Alvarez wide left. Everyone else is tight. And Collada hit for a loss. At about the 25-yard line, wrapped up and thrown back on an aggressive tackle by number 46, Jason Brown, who made a big play on the last series.
Well, again, it's the belly option here, and Collada bounces outside. And Brown just makes a good stick, brings it to the ground. And Collada's going to learn that he's not going to be able to bounce outside like that. He's got to run behind the 2 blockers.
Well, look at Toby Dempsey, who forced the fumble. And the Raiders here appear to have the first down with Derek Danton. Across the 20 to about the 18. That's a first down for Rummel. So the Raiders move the chains with 5:50 to play. We should mention we've had some light rain for the last 15 minutes or so, but it has no effect on the game whatsoever. In fact, I'm sure it's a welcome sight. Let's cool things off a little bit. We're up here, and it's about 95 up here. Here's Danton diving across the 15, down to about the 14-yard line. Danton brought down by number 53, Johnny Gegenheimer. Yeah, I tell you, our guys in the truck, you know, they do a great job, but under a 60-degree temperatures, I don't know, Henry. We may have to jack up our rates here, I would think.
Exactly.
Priorities. Through look at 41, Ben McAdam looking on for Rummel. Nice-looking Raider jersey with the sky blue and red. They always have a nice color combination. Red helmets are new this year.
Movement by the offensive tackle.
No, that doesn't help Rummel. That'll be 5 yards. It'll make it 2nd down at about 11. Well, the Raiders could ill afford to make mistakes or turn it over. They turned it over 3 or 4 times. They've had some penalties, and they've shot themselves in the foot when they've had opportunities here this afternoon. Wouldn't have changed the outcome, but it would have made the score a lot different.
Yeah, this is to be expected with this Rummel team. I think the coaches knew going into this season we would play very well at times, and we'd be very bad at times.
Second down, 11 yards to go. Motion. Danton runs through one tackle and another. And Derek Danton's been impressive. In fact, he's been the most impressive Rummel back here this afternoon.
This is really the first game that he's got a lot of playing time. He's worked hard and worked himself into position. We lost our starting fullback, Leonic, early in the season. It was a real good fullback for us. Derek's come on hard with a lot of hard work, and he's the back of the future.
Picked up 6 yards, tough yards on the play. Inside the 15, about the 13, where it's third down and 6 yards to go for Rummel, with 4:10 and counting to play in this ball game. Carnegie off the play fake, has a man, and he dropped the ball. Would have been 6 for the big tight end Kevin Sapp, their best receiver. The ball, though wobbly, was right on the money. And bless his heart, Sapp simply couldn't hold on.
Again, it was just a little belly pass, what Rummel calls a belly pass. The ball was there. Really, it was catchable. It wasn't the greatest pass in the world, but the little man got the job done and got it out there.
Well, a shot of the Raider mascot, Rufus, from years past. Speaking of which, Rufus Crescent Jr. is on this Rummel football team.
Is that right?
So he won't be carrying the costume around and waving the sword, right?
Right.
Fourth down, and about 6 for Rummel. 4 minutes to play exactly. Play fake by Carnegie, wants Sapp again, but he's in trouble. Carnegie will just throw it out of bounds, and Rummel will give it away on downs. Under heavy pressure there, Carnegie just had to get it off, and that was Nick Walker, who was put back in the game by the Eagles, who obviously want to preserve this shutout. And you can understand that. There's a degree of pride there.
There is a degree of pride. You shut out an opponent, especially when it's in district.
Riley was back in, too. In fact, they had their entire starting defensive front back in. So we look at some future Raiders and students. That's our story. 3:51 to play. No contest. Shaw 41, Rummel nothing.
That car underneath there, Kenny, that's Miss Steiner. She's been coming to games, prep games since 1945.
Wow. She's seen some of the best then.
Yes, she has.
All right, from the 13-yard line, Shaw with 3:51 to play will just need to take care of the football. And they do that here out to about the 17, maybe the 18. A lot of fresh faces in there. The ball carrier was number 25, Mark Coates. Brought down for Rummel by 47, David Klapach.
Oh, this is just a cutback dive. Shaw's probably just going to keep the ball on the ground, keep the ball inside the tackles here. What Coach Kenny does not want to see happen is his young guys that he's playing in the game right now put the ball on the ground.
Klapach with help from 83, Toby Dempsey again, who's doing a fine job out there. And there's Dempsey hitting him for a loss, and a flag is down. I don't know, Henry, where's this guy been, man? I'll tell you what. Have to get on Joe Burkell, my my fellow, my former schoolmate here. Well, there's Toby. And feeling the hit there was Chuck Parquette, quarterback. Penalty against Shaw on the play for procedure. Rummel will likely turn it down. Well, they'll take it here. They'll take the 5-yard penalty and move him back. You can go either way there. There was no gain on the play. Instead of 5-yard penalty, and with Shaw reserves in the game, Rummel's gambling on Shaw making a mistake here, which they could possibly do as they did on their last possession. Well, you see the togetherness there, the players holding hands in the defensive huddle. Again, a reminder at the conclusion of this one, we'll present our Cox Cable AAA trophies. Star of the game trophy to our player of the game, along with the head coach, and we can make that decision for you right now. Right after this play, we'll tell you who it is. Not a tough decision for us this afternoon. Here's the pitch. Oh, and he slipped on a wet field. He had some running room, but slipping, as we mentioned, it started raining a while back, and feels a little bit testy.
Well, I'm surprised here that Shaw's actually pitching the ball this deep with a young quarterback. You know, you just don't want to put the ball on the ground, but he made a nice pitch there. That's Parquet pitching the ball.
36, the ball carrier, and we don't have him on our roster. So it'll be third down and about 14 yards to go. 2:10 and counting for Shaw. Or they claim win number 4 on the season. And a fumble, and who's got it? Looks like the Eagles have retained possession. Well, there's the mix-up. They tried to run a little misdirection and mishandle things, but the Eagles recover. The Eagles recover in the person number 74, Davey Knockan. And a punting situation for Shaw from their own end zone with 1:45 and counting. Telly Borg will kick it away. Shaw taking as much time as possible. Flag is down. Wobbly kick fielded by Tillman, and he's got nothing. Wrapped up by Wallace, who's played a fine game, and there are flags on the field, 2 of them in fact. While they go over the penalty, I want to wish my good friend L.J. Strohmeyer the best of luck, expecting a child very soon. Know the feeling? It's great, it's great. L.J. doing a fine job this afternoon, our field judge. His brother was a nice little defensive back for the Rummel Raiders.
Yes, he was.
Back in the early 70s, my good friend Ron Strohmeyer.
Right. Had a nickname called Blueberry.
He was a good defensive back, good punt returner, too. I don't know if you call that the glory days. I guess you would, to some degree. Rummel Raiders were as good as any 11 Quad A team in the 1970s. Draw a line from 73 through 1980, and Rummel was no lower than 4th every year, and they were 1st and 2nd quite a bit. So a lot of ties to the past here this afternoon. The penalty declined. Rando up here, of course, who coached at Rummel. We saw Ethan Roth a little while ago, who coached Rummel in their glory days, had some tremendous success. Saw Jay Roth here, who led Rummel to some glorious wins, now coaching at Shaw. Speaking of Rummel graduates, they're all over the place up here. Mike Strom's here in attendance this afternoon. Now the West Bank columnist for the Times Picayune, covering the Shaw Eagles. Kenny Trahan is up here this afternoon, shooting some video. Our statistician, of course, is Craig Trahan.
Yeah, where'd he go to?
I'm not sure. Hank will think he's being ganged up on here,
right? That's right.
And Hank will laugh about it. He's got a good attitude, does a great job, and well, of course, we've heard rumors left and right about Hank's future, too, now. About where he'll be next year. He's obviously done a great job, and he's had a lot of assistants that have left him and been very successful elsewhere. Jesuit's got a couple now, and Jesuit's doing great this year. Barbier, Honville's done a great job. Did I say Honville?
Yes.
I did say Honville.
Okay. Billy North at Arrett.
Billy North at Arrett, obviously. Oh, and they have a man deep, and it's going to be a touchdown for Del Perez from Carnegie. 52 yards, and the Raiders are on the scoreboard.
Well, I tell you, the little man threw the ball that time, Tom. He really laid it out nice. Had a nice spiral on the ball, nice arc, laid it out there.
Nice tight pass. And they lost the replay on it.
Now, that's too bad, but it was a perfect pass. So Stephen Del Perez, the 5'7", 145-pound senior, leading receiver on this team, came in with 5 catches for 84 yards. He's added to that handsomely. Cuito's extra point off to the right, no good. So with 1:13 to play, a timeout on the field, it's now Archbishop Shaw 41 and the Rummel Raiders 6. We'll take a break, and we'll be back. Well, 1:13 to play, and the Rummel Raiders are on the board, and that's very heartening for those young men who work hard. It's 41-6, Shaw leading with 1:13 left. Cuito will kick off. We might see an onside kick here, I would think. Might be in order. Then again, maybe not, but we'll see.
There's a possibility here.
Well, and he did. Not onside, but an interesting strategy, and, and it's one that really can work. He kicked it hard and right at one of the Shaw players who did an excellent job of knocking it down and dropping on it. That was 28 Sean Surency, and he deserves a lot of credit for that. That's a tough play to make. And, and I've often wondered why more kickers don't try to do that, Tom. it's hard to feel the ball when it's hit that hard on the ground at you.
Well, I think every coach does have that in, trying to kick the ball at somebody, but it's not the easiest thing in the world to do.
Yeah.
And from a defensive standpoint, what you'd like to do is that you always tell your guys never to line up straight on the kicker, to always offset yourself from the kicker so you don't give him that good shot at.
Right.
All right, the quarterback is Parkett. Speaking of quarterbacks, our player of the game is unanimous. We'll tell you in just a moment. He's a quarterback, naturally. On first down, we'll see this play first as botched handoff again and maybe a fumble. I think the Raiders may have it. They do with 1:03 to play. From the 46-yard line, Rummel gets the football on the turnover with 1:02 left. Our player of the game, guys, no question about it, is the Archbishop Shaw quarterback, number 3, Isaac Wilson, who just had a big game here this afternoon. Wilson with 9 carries, 107 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He threw in a couple of passes, 2 for 5 for 10 yards. And Isaac Wilson just ran the option to perfection and made the big plays for Shaw, and he's our player of the game. Well, here's Carnegie wanting to go deep. He's hit, he fumbles, and Shaw has it. Let's see, it wasn't incomplete. They're saying incomplete, I think. Roy Hoffman on the call, and couldn't quite see if his arm was coming forward or not. And they're going to call it incomplete, and they're not going to get an argument here. So he obviously made the right call.
So we're going to play 2nd and 10.
Good pressure by the Eagles. Foray was the guy that got there for Shaw. It'll be 2nd and 10 for Rummel from their own 47, 53 seconds remaining. We've had some lightning here the last moment or two. And here's a completed pass. Dalperez trying to get outside, and does. He's got running room. Dalperez, 25, 20, down at the 19, 43 seconds left. Dalperez in the flat with a big play for Rummel.
Well, I really like that move he put on. Steve Dalperez is a split end. He's going to catch a little hitch pass. You're going to see right there. Nice toss there by Carnegie to Dalperez. Makes a move, shows good speed, gets outside. And the only guy to make the tackle right there was number 21, Kenny, Elijah Buckley.
With 30 seconds left, Carnegie slanting, and the pass is incomplete. Good timing. Wow, there's a flag on the play. Well, Joseph was defending. The hit was bang, bang when the ball arriving, and they have thrown a flag, I believe, on Joseph. Yes, indeed, they have. 25 seconds left. That'll put Rummel even closer. That's our story. 25 seconds, 41-6 our score. And a penalty marked off against Archbishop Shaw will put it down to, the 4-yard line with 25 seconds left. Interference against the Eagles. First down, Rummel. So the Raiders have shown that they have some character. Although they're working against reserves for Shaw, they never quit here this afternoon. And that's something that's going to be valuable for a young team down the road. First and goal from the 4. Carnegie pitches, and there's room. And there's a touchdown. Rick Pilata, 4 yards out, and Rummel makes it 41-12.
All it is just a triple option. Pilata takes on a pitch, shows good speed, stayed in bounds, went for the flag, got the 6. Nice play by the freshman.
Extra point forthcoming. You thought they might go for 2 here, being 41-12, but they're going to kick it anyway. Huito will handle those chores. And this time he has it through. With 19 seconds remaining, timeout on the field. Our score, Shaw 41, Rummel 13. We'll take the break here. We'll be back with the conclusion of the game in just a moment.
Football fans, Cox Cable Jefferson has a sports talk show for you.
Hi, I'm Bob Krieger.
And I'm Rich Marty. Bob, what are we doing here anyway?
We're going to do a show called From the Terrace.
And what are we going to talk about?
We're going to talk about things football.
Well, it's live guests. We'll have live guests every week. We'll even talk about Tulane and LSU if you want us to. So call in and join us.
Please. Hurry.
From the Terrace with Bob Krieger and Rich Marty. Wednesday night at 6:30 on Cox Jefferson Channel 6.
17 seconds remaining. Shaw just kneels on the ball. That should be the last play of the game in what is a driving rainstorm now. I mean, we told you about the lightning bolts earlier, folks, and we have got a torrential downpour with the wind blowing at about 25 miles an hour as our game comes to a close here at Joe Yenni Stadium, and the Shaw Eagles have won it by the score of 41-13. Well, no doubt as to the outcome of this one. The Eagles dominating from the second quarter on. Scoreless first quarter, and then Shaw just turned it on with big plays. And they go on to win 41-13. Players shaking hands, and I know they welcome the rain right now. It has to feel good. And it has to feel good for Shaw. They're now 4-0, and they win a district game, and they'll go out of district to play Herrick next week by virtue of this 41-13 victory here this afternoon. We'll take a break here. We'll be back to wrap things up from Joe Yenni Stadium in just a moment.
Hey, are your kids on a Jefferson Prep football team?
From a very rainy Joe Yenni Stadium this afternoon, Archbishop Shaw 41, Archbishop Rummel 13. Oh, the outcome not in doubt after the first quarter, which was very evenly played. And in fact, Rummel did an outstanding job in the first quarter defensively, shutting Shaw down without a score and holding them to only 17 yards. But after that, Henry, just the big plays. Shaw always able to make them, and that's why they win football games.
Well, I think that was the difference in the ball game tonight. There's no question about that, Kenny, and that is Shaw's ability to run the ball outside the 30-yard line and make the big play. They never had a consistent drive all afternoon. They didn't have to go 80, 90 yards for a score. What they were able to do was to take and make the big play all night long.
Tom, you had to like the fact that Rummel, despite being out of this football game, never quit and showed a little character, and that's got to be a valuable experience down the road for a young football team to gain a little confidence against the state's second-ranked team.
I was very proud of them. They stayed in, they fought. I think the missed tackles hurt us today. We didn't handle the option very well, but Shaw also runs the option very well. You have to give them credit. And then our young kids came in and played tough at the end, and then we sent some number ones back in, and they played tough. So we're improving, and we're going to be up and down all year, but we're going to be a much improved team throughout this year.
We should mention that our Cox Cable AAA Trophies player of the game was Isaac Wilson, the Shaw quarterback who had over 100 yards rushing, in fact, 107 yards and 2 touchdowns, and completed a couple of passes as well. Normally we'd make a trophy presentation on the field, but because of the inclement weather, well, you can understand. We're wet enough from sweat. It's been hot this afternoon. We weren't ready to get rained on as well, but Isaac Wilson, our Cox Cable AAA Trophies player of the game. Our thanks once again to AAA Trophies on Florida Avenue in Kenner for presenting this award. Next week, Henry, we've got a battle in District 12 Quad A. The East Jefferson Warriors have looked pretty good against Grace King.
Well, Kenny, East Jefferson's a team that has 2 great running backs, so it ought to be an interesting game.
Tom Dempsey, we thank you for joining us this evening. We wish you the best of luck in your endeavors, and we wish your son Toby well, too.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed being with you and Coach Rando.
All right, for Tom Dempsey and Henry Rando, I'm Ken Trahan. So long until next time.